And boom, we're on. We were just
Well, hello
talking.
there.
I guess I should probably introduce you before we go into this. We were just talking about Pokemon Go.
Sure.
I think this is 125, and today, guys, we are joined by Brandon or Mystic7.
Hi, Mystic7 here.
What's up, man?
How you doing, dude?
I'm good. I'm good.
It's
So
been a minute since I seen you last.
yeah, we met up in London.
Yeah, we were kicking it in the L.
It was I don't know about you, dude, but like that trip wrecked me.
Yeah,
It was
I would
2
have to
days.
agree.
And
Yeah.
I was in bed for 7 days after with the flu. It was
like you got
bad.
travel sick.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
I mean,
that's the worst.
I was tired on top of it, and I think it just wrecked my immune system. I got back.
Yeah.
Just I didn't upload for like a week. I was so sick. It was that
Did
bad.
your fans think you were dead? They're like, oh God, what happened?
Oh
to
yeah.
him?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm like a pretty like regular daily. So when I don't go a single day, they're just like, all right, well Pat's dead. So, anyways.
Yeah, dude, the travel bug is like the worst thing. I mean, the lack of sleep. I don't know how much you slept a night, but it was like 2 hours of sleep per night for a couple days. It was rough.
Yeah, it was a joke, man. Like I
Honestly.
got there, I just like hit the ground running, going out, doing
Yeah.
I don't know, business stuff, and I don't know. It was a cool trip,
No,
free trip to
absolutely.
London. You got to take
Yeah,
it.
right.
But,
How you gonna complain?
yeah, exactly. But anyways, I wanted to talk today. I mean, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff, but
yeah.
the main thing, man, we were just getting into it. I mentioned it. You already got excited. Is Pokemon Go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Before I get into this,
Okay.
were you always a mobile gamer or?
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny that you've done Call of Duty and Zombies your entire YouTube career, huh?
Yeah.
Or like, did you start on all that?
Always.
Okay,
Forever
for
and
sure. Yeah, yeah,
always.
yeah. So like, I started out on like Black Ops 1 or
okay.
2. Black Ops 1, like funny moments. Like I was the biggest KOAR Speedy fan, and I was like, yo, I want to be this guy. So I was doing like search and destroy multiplayer funny moments kind of stuff. And honestly, the videos were great. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. They were pretty funny. But I realized that the editing was like insane for a video like that, so I kind of gave it up. And then I picked up YouTube a couple years later on mobile gaming, on Clash of Clans. So and then I've kind of since then stuck with it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Which is
Clash was the big mobile game. I feel like that was where I feel like mobile gaming kind of on YouTube got to a high
absolutely.
level.
Well, so like I think Pocket Minecraft was like the first big mobile YouTube game, but like it's the Pocket version of the actual real version, so like it wasn't huge. But Pocket Minecraft got really popular on YouTube. But Clash, I mean, even now the Pokemon community is big on YouTube, but there's like the Clash of Clans and Clash Royale community, the Supercell community is the biggest mobile gaming community to like ever exist. So even now it's like it's after Clash of Clans prime. Clash of Clans is like some gray old man in the corner, but Clash Royale is popping, and it's just there's so many people on YouTube for it. It's like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen Nick at Night, and if you've looked at his channel recently, but like this dude's averaging like 500K a video. Like, what? This is a mobile game.
Oh, is this
my
on
God.
Clash Royale?
Yeah. Clash Royale's
Dang.
huge right now.
Dang.
Have you played?
Never.
Really?
Not once.
You've never played either?
I've played Clash of Clans.
Okay.
Of course. Who hasn't played Clash of Clans?
That's what I'm
right?
saying. Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. But no, I don't know. The thing with the mobile games is I get into them too much, and
Oh, really?
yeah, actually funny. I did this sponsor deal for a company over the summer, and like before I play a game, if it's shitty, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna promote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got like sent the game, and they hooked it up with a bunch of free in app stuff and whatever. That would cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and I got it all for free.
Yeah.
And I started playing, and then 3 or 4 hours later, I was still playing this game. I'm like, all right, well, that's like, I'm sold. This game's actually sick. So,
That's the best feeling when like a company is like, hey, we want to pay you for you to play our game. And you're like, okay, and the game's good. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I do all zombies, and this, what was the game? Not Dead Rising, but
Was it like a shooter or like?
yeah, it's like I should be able to remember this. It's like Tripwire Interactive makes it. Let me think here. I gotta pull this up.
Okay. That's dude. Did you ever play was it Mortal Kombat? Oh shit. What was the Call
Killing
of Duty?
Floor.
Killing Floor. That's like a really
Yeah.
really big PC game right now too.
Yeah. So Killing Floor 2, they hit me up, and I started playing. And I said, "This is perfect." When you
Yeah.
get those good integrations, it's nice because people already like zombies on my channel. Another zombies game, and it's a good game, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Oh, and playing for on top of that. Did you ever play it was Modern Combat? Modern Combat. That was like
Modern
the Call
Combat.
of Duty mobile version.
Oh, yeah.
It's like really good actually. Like it played great, and they had
Was
kill
it?
streaks in later games and everything. It was like legit. I think
maybe
it's
not.
still. No.
Did it have a campaign?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I might have played it then.
Okay, it's definitely older.
Yeah.
It's a much older.
Yeah. Okay. But
It was like dope. Like that's one of the mobile games that I got it. God, my mom hated my mobile gaming addiction because like I like you in that story where like you sit down to play for a couple minutes and you're on for 4 hours. I do the same thing with like Modern Combat and Clash, and then my grades would go like whoop, and my mom would be like get off. So it was always a struggle with mom with the mobile games.
Yeah. So when Pokemon Go came out, you hopped on that right away, right?
I was actually, I think, 2 or 3 weeks late on the ball, and it's because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a rebel. I'm gonna be a rebel cool guy and not play the game when it came out, because like everyone played Pokemon Go and uploaded it, and I was like, I'm gonna be that one guy that's not gonna do it. And then I saw, to be honest with you, I saw the views it was getting on YouTube, like tens of millions. I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is a real thing. This is like actually something that people will look up and be interested in. And then I tried the game out because my buddies were playing it and they liked it, and I was like, this is really fun. Like I could see why people would want to play and watch this game. So then I started with like the occasional Pokemon video, and then they started doing better than my normal videos, and I was like, this is happening. This transition needs to be made. So it was dude, if I started right off the bat, man, there were some people, do you know Nick from Trainer Tips?
Nick.
He's another Pokemon Go guy. He started.
Okay.
Yeah, he started 7 months ago when the game first came out, and now he just broke 600,000 subscribers. So like, really, he blew up super quick. And I think one of his first videos ever. Imagine this as a YouTuber, right? One of your first videos ever, 10 million views.
Wow.
My mind was blown when I went back and saw that. I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking lucky guy. That is awesome. So like, if I would have started 2 weeks earlier, that could have been me. It's one of those moments.
I think I made 2 videos.
Oh, how'd those do?
Worse than normal, but better than most games I play on my own. Like I think it did maybe 200K, which at the time, I mean, I was doing like 300K, right? But it's still 200K, right? And now, what I mean? But it was summertime views, I was at the Z House, so like everything was inflated a little bit. Oh, God,
dude, the Z House. I want to hear about that at some point in this podcast too, because I've talked with Matt about the Z House, and it sounds like a lit experience.
Man, what do you want to know?
Bro, like, what's the planning behind the Z House? So you guys just like hit each other up, you're like, yo, we're gonna pad, we're crashing for a week, and it's gonna be a fun time. Like, how do you guys
I mean, the main Z House, right? The main like the real one over the summer. We had been talking about it off and on. I've been talking with one guy for probably 8 months. I want to live with YouTubers for the summer, right? I got the time off because I was still going to school at the time. So I was saying, we should do this summer, right? Let's just get a house and just live together and make content together, right?
Yeah.
And I never thought, we'd make videos together. I thought it'd be more something just we all make separate videos, but we can bounce ideas off each other, and it'll just be a cool
like chill in the same,
right? Yeah. So I mean, none of us really knew what it was going to end up being going into it, and I mean, we had been looking at houses. Actually, there was a house we were looking at in Pasadena, and it was owned by some lady in China.
Nice.
So one of the guys that went, he went to go look at it, Jack. You met them all at COD XP, right?
Yeah, I met the whole group.
Yeah, except for me because I wasn't there. But
yeah, exactly.
So anyways, Jack goes to this house, and it was a mansion, like a really good price, huge outdoors, and all this stuff. And the guy that shows him the house didn't say a single word the entire time he was there.
Really?
So we start thinking, well, that's a little bit suspicious that, for a 5-bedroom house, like a pretty big house, we don't really want to just throw all this money at them and then have them, completely scam us. So anyways, that was the house we were really relying on, and we didn't go with it. And then we found this house in Oceanside, California. And it was probably within an hour of where Jack lives. And we said, well, this is a 5-bedroom. It's a good deal. Landlord seems nice. We just hopped on it maybe less than a month before we actually ended up going.
Oh wow! So you guys were like, "Yo, this is." You felt it in your spidey senses.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was last minute, man. And that's the thing is, we'd been planning it, and it just, a month. Oh, we were like, I don't know if this is gonna work or not, and we ended up just last minute going out, and then it just blew up. We had
Oh god, yeah.
Over our group videos. We have a playlist. It got over I think 20 million total views, right? So.
Oh my god, you're not. I heard because I was talking to Matt about it. And he was like, yeah, like those Z House videos did great. They do awesome, and it makes sense though because like you guys are the kings of the zombies community, and the zombies community is huge. It's been in such a big community throughout the last couple of years. So like your fan bases are strong as is, and there's still a lot of virality left in the zombies because there's still like a lot of people playing the game. So if you take all of you guys and put you in one house and make videos together, like a lot of people are gonna be like, this is dope. Like I want to watch this.
Yeah, and the cool thing is it wasn't even the biggest guys out of the zombies community, right?
Who was it? What, Syndicate wasn't there?
So Syndicate kind of isn't really zombies anymore,
Oh, yeah, he's live vlogging. Yeah.
He used to be, of course. But Noah J's the biggest guy.
Yeah. He wasn't there.
Yeah, so he wasn't there. Mr. Dalek JD, he's another guy with about 1.5. So of the group, I was the biggest with going in. I think 1.2. Lex was at maybe 900,000. But then Chucky was all the way down at like 100,000 subscribers. So.
Where is he now? He blew up.
Well, his second channel, dude. He has this channel called Nexus. It's top 10s and stuff.
Yeah.
And in the last 6 months, he just had 1 million subscribers in 6 months.
Are you serious?
He
1 million subs in 6.
Basically, yeah. He started in July. By the time we left the Z House in August, he was at 50,000. And then this time we were in August, and not August. It must have been October, I guess, 2 months out. And we did like a little Z House meetup to record some videos at Matt's house in New Jersey. And Chucky was there, and he says, man, I uploaded this video yesterday. I think it's going viral. And then the next day, he comes out downstairs, and he says, guys, it's got a million real-time views.
What the
So 1 million views in the last 48 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah. So anyways, it was top 10 or 15 something water bottle flips, right?
Wow, and oh my god, that was so popular. That was a smart video on him.
Yeah,
dude.
and this was a month after water bottle flips had really been a thing, right?
Oh,
so
he still blew up.
Yeah, he was thinking, man, I don't think this is gonna do well. But no one had done a countdown, right? It was just compilations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that blew him up, and since then, man, he's hit. I want to say 3 or 4 videos with almost 10 million views. It's
my god,
it is insane.
My most viewed is like I think maybe 4 or 5 million, and I've been on YouTube for like 4 years.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So 4 10 million view videos, 8 digits in 6 months.
Wow,
it's nuts, man.
Well, I'm just gonna give a applaud for him right there, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, and what's crazier is his brother, who owns another one called Top 5 Central, is doing even better than him.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's coming up on 2 million or something like that.
God. Yeah, those channels those are like blow up overnighters for sure.
Yeah, it's insane. So I mean, me and Matt, we started one. It's not doing that good, but
well,
someday,
keep believing, bro. You'll get there.
Yeah,
I saw you did a little Pokemon on there. You dipped into the Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot about Pokemon. I mean, at least like
you do Pokemon streams, don't you?
I started it. I don't know. I just thought I'd try it out, see how it does, right? It's kind of a slow time with zombies right now, and I figure, I should get into something else. So, I mean, with like the newer games, you need a capture card on your DS because you can't have an emulator for the 3DS since like 3D, it takes so much to render on your computer, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I've just been playing like the old games, but they're doing all right. But on the other channel, like I did just really basic top 10s about Pokemon. Like, it was just kind of one. I did 2 about like just the creepiest Pokemon that have the creepiest descriptions, right? So, Drowsy eats people's dreams and Hypno. Hypno has like stolen a kid. There was a reported case of him stealing a child, hypnotizing it and stealing it into the woods. Nice. So interesting stuff like that, right? But just basic. Yeah. So I don't know. It's fun to do that because it's so different from your normal content, right? You know how you make a video and you kind of have a good idea how well it's going to do.
Yeah.
On this, you're just throwing stuff at a wall and hoping it sticks, right? Some videos, they do terrible. Some videos, they do really well, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. It's always like hitting the lottery whenever you get a viral. It's like a really extra good feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but dude, Pokemon Go's I mean, when it first came out, it was it really was the trend of the summer.
It
I don't
was
think any
bigger than Twitter. It had more daily users than Twitter. Like, let that settle in. That is Twitter. Everybody has Twitter. Like, the president has a Twitter, you know? Like, everyone was playing Pokemon Go. God, it was, yeah, and like you said, the trend of the summer, absolutely. You know, summer 2K16 was all Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the Maroon 5. Maroon 5 made a music video that was literally Pokemon Go themed. Like,
Really?
that's how big it got. Yeah.
Wow,
like,
I didn't know that.
It was there.
Yeah, but then, I mean, as all huge trends, you know, they die out, right? Most of that stuff, I mean, I think I knew going in, I was like, I don't think this is something that's probably gonna last because it seemed as though Niantic, which ended up being true, seemed like they weren't.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I want to ask you all about Niantic.
Yeah.
It just seemed that they weren't doing a very good job with it. Now, given the fact of how many people were playing the game,
yeah,
I can understand.
Yeah. They definitely So from what I understand, on the get-go, just on the launch, they were not ready. I mean, I know for a fact they weren't ready just because of how many problems arose and how long it took for them to like fix shit, but they were not prepared to launch this game. For starters, one, the game wasn't ready to be launched, so that was a problem. And two, they didn't expect it to become the #1 game in all of the Milky Way galaxy, you know? Like, they didn't think it'd be that big.
Right, so like, back up there, what do you mean it wasn't ready to launch?
So, like, the game itself, they were pushed. So, Pokemon Go is owned by Niantic. It's owned by the Pokemon Company, and it's owned by Nintendo. So, like, I think there might be I think it's those three main companies that like own the game. Niantic is the core developer of it, so they're not in charge of the game, but they like make it basically. So they had a lot of behind the scenes pressure from the Pokemon Company and Niantic to release it over the summer, just because they all knew how popular this game would get. Well, they knew that it would be popular. They didn't know it would be that popular, but they wanted to get it out over the summer. I'm assuming just because, you know, summer trend, everyone's kind of like at home to play video games. And the weather's perfect for it. So they launched the game early, and you could tell the game was launched early because the tracking system that was in play when the game first came out, that was the biggest problem with the game. That was the biggest problem for like 4 or 5 months. The tracking system worked great. It was an awesome tracking system, but then everyone in the world and their mother started playing the game, and the servers couldn't handle it, so they had to take the tracking system out. So they weren't ready for the traffic. And then they didn't have a new system in play for the next like 5 months. And then the game itself wasn't too developed. There were a lot of like little things that they should have improved on that took them a couple months to do. I mean, it was a great game on the launch. You know, it was still the most popular game ever. But like it wasn't finished and it wasn't ready. And Niantic wasn't ready for the game to go that big. But it was I mean, it was obviously, you know, it has to be ready to launch. Like, you can't launch an incomplete game, but it definitely wasn't where it should have been on launch.
Yeah, so it was just, it was a bare bones game, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like alpha.
Yeah.
Beta,
yeah.
Whatever.
But then, okay, I heard something that they had investments of $30 million to go into their game. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know how much money I'm not sure. I know this game took a long time to make. I think they've had this in concept for like, I think 5 or 10 years. I don't know if I might be just making up numbers here, but like it's been in the works for a while. But I don't know. I have no clue how much money they invested, but I guarantee you, whatever they put in, they've gotten 10 times that. They got 10 times that the day it launched. You know that I think it was Niantic stock or Niantic's worth went up like $1 billion in the first week of the game going out. Like first week. Like, wow. That's how much money this stupid thing made, you know? It was like
insane.
Big.
Dude, how much money do you think Pokemon Go has made? Billions?
Yeah, and see, that makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit because of, you know, all the money they've made, they just don't know what to do with it. They like haven't hired new people. They haven't made, I'm sure they've hired new people, but they haven't improved their company with the money that they've made. I guarantee you this game's made probably billions, because I don't know if you've seen all the new sponsored stuff. Like, have you seen like the Starbucks sponsored? So like if you go to Starbucks, you can ask for like a Pokemon Go Frappuccino, and every single Starbucks. Yeah, right. And every single Starbucks and Sprint in America has a Pokestop or a gym on them. So like there's sponsored stops. Like how much money do you think Starbucks paid for that? You know, like that is it stop at every single Starbucks location throughout the entire US. Like the contracts and sponsor deals that they're doing, the money they're making from that is much more than something you and I would get. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
But,
well, if it's not in the billions, it's got to be in the tens or hundreds of millions at least.
Yeah, I don't know.
A billion might be a stretch. Yeah,
billions is a lot of money.
Yeah,
but definitely tens, if not hundreds of millions. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because even
I was gonna say I think I dropped $40 into it the first week, and that was not for a video. That was just whatever.
Exactly. That was everybody. Like imagine. Yeah. I don't know how many how many millions of active users they had like on a daily basis, but like multiply that by $40. That's like, God, the money they made, dude.
See,
but remember that they split it 3 ways though.
Right.
Oh no,
that's true.
So Niantic didn't make all the money, but what they made, I'm sure, was a lot more than what they expected.
Right. See, my issue with the thing is how successful they were, and how much money they made. Even if Niantic just got a third of it, I think how simple the game is, right? So I understand the framework for it, and I think they had another game. Ingress, yeah. So that kind of laid the groundwork where people would make these spots. They go to a mural, take a picture of it, or something like that. Is that?
Yeah. I have no idea how the game works. I've never seen it or played it, but like everything that's in Pokemon Go is literally a copy from Ingress. Pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean that I can't even begin to imagine how that even works of having a mural of every, or a thing in your game of every real life mural ever, right? That's insane. But the fact that besides that whole stuff aside, right? The game is so basic. They're making so much money. How didn't they put more into it? I mean, if I'm not an expert, right? But I'm thinking the battle system. You tap, Why didn't they play off of the real Pokemon games where you have different moves and you hit this and actual? That would be pretty easy. Trades, I mean, all kinds of stuff like that, right?
Exactly. Well, see, like, and I think that's more of just Niantic not being ready. It was the game not being ready. It was super underdeveloped. It was super, like you said, super basic. When the game first came out, the only thing you could do is catch a Pokemon, evolve it, and then battle a gym. And I mean, that's kind of the same thing now, but like they're working on expanding that. I mean, they've got news about trading, about breeding, about PvP battling, about group competitions. Like they're actually making this game better now, although it's a little bit late for that. But like you said, when the game first came out, you make freaking $10 million in the first week or some crazy shit like that. Like you'd think they'd be like, oh, this is humongous, but it's basic. Let's take this money and build on it, which they have been doing. And see, the thing about Pokemon Go, the reason why Generation 2 actually took 6 or 7 months to drop, it took them forever to release new Pokemon in the game, but they had to, and actually John Hanke, the CEO of Niantic, said this, they couldn't bring out new content because they had to fix the game itself. Like the tracking took forever to fix. They had bugs that took forever. They had graphic improvements that needed to be made. Like there was a lot with this app that wasn't where it should have been when the game came out. So they had a lot of groundwork to do, a lot of fixing, a lot of bug fixes, graphic fixes, a lot of stuff like that before they could bring out new games or new Pokemon and new features. And they got that done. In my opinion, it took them a lot longer than it should have. But I have no clue what goes behind, or what is behind all this, because I could only imagine the servers and the development team, like for a game this massive, this global, with, like you said, Pokestops at like every corner of the street. They got to go and take pictures and write descriptions of that for every single Pokestop. Like that's nuts if you think about it. So there's probably a lot that goes into this that I'm overseeing, and I probably sound like an asshole to every Niantic employee, but it's from an outsider perspective, it definitely looks like they could have done a lot more with the money that they made and made improvements a lot quicker to the game. But what they're also trying to do, you got to figure in, when you first played the game, you even thought, you're like, oh, this is probably something that's not going to be super popular or long lasting. I'm from Texas actually, and I'm sure Niantic saw that too. They were like, all right, this game is good, but we got to make it last longer. So they they definitely wanted to space out the bigger updates so that the lifespan of the game would be longer. But I think they overlooked a lot of stuff that goes into making a viral and long-lasting game. And you and I both know this, even though we play completely different games, completely different consoles. I do mobile gaming, you do console gaming, but like with a video game like Clash of Clans or like Zombies, Call of Duty, there's a lot of very basic aspects that go into it. You need a campaign mode or some kind of single player thing. You need a storyline to it. You don't need a storyline, but it definitely helps with it. Like I'm sure the Revelations. I watched the hell out of that, and I've never been into zombies in my life, but like I watched all those playthroughs because it was the coolest thing ever. You need a multiplayer. And you need a competitive aspect, right? Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, there's always been competitive aspects. There's always been leaderboards. They're so successful now because they're doing like competitions, globally and stuff like that. Zombies, Call of Duty has their MLG. They've got, you guys. I guess not with Zombies. There's not so much of a competitive aspect, just like getting higher rounds. Well, I don't know. Do you guys is there?
Well, I mean, there is some, I guess, credit, if you can get to a higher round and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, the main aspect of Zombies is the Easter egg, right? Like you said, just being hooked on watching what's going to happen. Are we going to figure out a new step? That first period of time. I mean, sometimes it's less than 24 hours. Sometimes it's Revelations and it takes 8 days. But it's always the peak, right?
Yeah, it's always like the hype central.
Yeah.
Like you got me playing and watching it, and I don't even do Zombies.
Yeah,
so
there
like,
you go.
Exactly. And that's what you need from a game. You need those hype moments, and you need the competitive aspect or that one thing that brings people back. And Pokemon Go Niantic still has not brought that to the game because obviously with Pokemon Go there's a lot of really really big Pokemon fans in the world and people diehard fans for the game. And the problem I guess with just the game, there's no competitive aspect to it, and that's something that's just really been lacking and something that they're trying to work on. But they definitely Pokemon's been a game that they make a Pokemon game. It's cool. They throw it out and then they'll drop an update maybe for it or probably usually not, and they'll just let people play it and they'll sit back and make their money and people will love it, right? And I think they tried that with Pokemon Go. They try to just use their normal strategies because they don't know anything else, and it's a game that needs to fall in line with Call of Duty, with Clash of Clans, with Clash Royale. It's got to have a competitive aspect. It's got to have more than just the simple basic concepts of Pokemon. I mean, if it had PvP battling, trading, breeding when the game first came out, they could have developed that into, it could still be a humongous game right now because they could do. If you think about it, honestly, you could do MLG shit with Pokemon Go. You could have 1v1 battles, right? That would bring such a big aspect into this game, and that would blow up so quickly. Bro, I've got ideas, man. I need to get Niantic, dude. I've got ideas for these guys.
Okay, well, here's an idea I just came off the top of my head. You're talking kind of competitive, right? The problem with the gym is you go to some random gas station, and there's no status. Oh, I have that gas station, but it can get taken so easily. Yeah. I think it'd be cool if they had that. That's fine, but maybe that should be more. That should be the trainer battles, right? That should be just trainer battles, right?
Yeah.
And I think they should have had gyms as maybe a region. So the 10. I guess it would depend on population size. Maybe each city or whatever. What if you had a leaderboard in there? And this guy has beat the most people, right? And then they have an actual sort of gym where you can go head to head against that guy or whatever. And play real time and link up and actually play each other rather than your AI's Pokemon that's in the gym is battling this person that knows exactly when to dodge left on a hyper beam and all that kind of stuff, right? So
well, and that's something that I've thought about and I'm actually excited about because again, John Hankey, the man, he said something about competitive battles and well, not competitive battles per se, but like competitive group type shit. And I this is just I could swear right on this. Is it cool if I?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure I'm not like putting extra bleep.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh fucking A-Rot, dude. Yeah. So the whole. So I mean, have you? Did you grow up on Pokemon? Like, did you like watch the series, play the games and stuff?
Oh yeah, dude. I was huge.
Okay.
Played the games, watched the anime, bought cards. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a Pokemon backpack when I was 5. I was.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You were like hardcore in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, holy shit! I just completely lost my train of thought. The competitive battling. So you know how like so I wasn't unfortunately a Pokemon kid. I actually had to go and in order to prepare for Generation 2, I literally had to sit down multiple hours a day and watch the Pokemon Go cartoons that had the Generation 2 Pokemon in them.
Oh no.
So I can study and learn the generation before it dropped. So but I was watching the what is it, Johto World League and the Kanto, right? Those are the two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I think the first season is the Indigo League.
Oh, Indigo League, and then So,
Yeah.
but like even in the not commercials, in the cartoons, there's like that aspect of, you battle your way, you gain your badges. There's like prestige, like you want to go out and win. There's like that need, that want to go out and battle other people just because, you get something from it. There is leaderboards. There's a global there's a big World League championship. Like there's real reason to want to go in and battle stuff. But with gyms, like you said, it's just an AI versus AI battle. Like it's fun. I'm not gonna lie, gym battling's a fun time, and it's fun for my viewers mainly because it's a little bit glitchy and shit happens, and I get hit by hyper beam when I shouldn't, and I rage. So people love that. But it's just it's stale. It's just really stale. It's just AI battling. It's fun. It's cool watching the Pokemon do their moves and stuff. But like you can only do that so many times before it gets boring.
Yeah.
So,
well, it would be really cool if they introduced actual gym badges, and if they use the actual gym leaders from Gen 1 for when Gen 1 dropped, and the first gym leader, I guess in the game, would be Brock. He's not very good, and you could put a couple hours into the game and beat him, right?
Yeah.
But then the final gym leader, which is Giovanni, the Team Rocket leader, right? He'd be really good, and you got to be at least maybe level 20 or something to beat him. And then if you want to take on the Elite Four, which would be 4 fights in a row, and then the champion, make that you got to be really high, maybe 25, 30.
Yeah.
Cool stuff like that. It would be easy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and see, honestly, I do think that stuff is coming just because they have to drop it. If it's part of the main series and it's part of the actual games, it's going to be in Pokemon Go. It just kind of depends on like when the fuck are they going to do it? Because it's like, bro, it's like 7 months since the game launched. We still have, casual gym battling. But I guess gym battling was even now, it's just like the really basic concept of battling. I think personally they're kind of introducing, it's been a very long introduction, but they're introducing people into the concept of battling, of how Pokemon Go battling works, so that when they drop PvP and when they drop, hopefully drop, World League championships, and they drop just cool shit like trainer battles that like are actually difficult, and it's not just an AI versus AI, or like the AI is actually challenging. They'll probably do that. I guarantee you they'll do that in the future, but I think right now they're just, the gym battling is stale just so that people can kind of learn how to gym battle and get the good Pokemon, and then when, the actual stuff comes out, they can. But see, then it's like, like you said, it'd be really cool if you got to be a certain level to go up against a certain gym leader, or, like in order to beat this guy, like you're going to want to have like a 2,500 Snorlax. People already have level 40. People already have, max CPs on the Pokemon. So like, there's not going to be that big of a challenge aspect now in the game. Like it's really, really late to introduce all that stuff. And by the time they bring all this out, everyone's going to have, level 30 and all their max Pokemon. So like, even when they bring PvP battling out, there's going to be people who want to come play Pokemon Go because PvP battling's here. There's going to be a lot of new people because the game's going to be fun and interesting again. But then you're going to get shit on by everybody because, the people who've stayed with the game are level 30, and then, new people come in and they got to work their way to it, which is a grind. So it's like, they got to find a way to balance it.
Right.
But dude, it's going to be, when this stuff drops, bro, I don't know what I have to do to get to Niantic. I've been trying to find, I have my brother researching for their address for, their San Francisco and Los Angeles office, so I can like walk in there. But I want to sit down with these guys and talk about the future of their game. I don't think they would, just because they think that I would go straight to my channel and be like, I know the future 6 months of Pokemon Go, and, make a bunch of clickbait shit. But it's like,
well, it's funny you mention that, because that's actually something really similar to zombies, is the whole talking to the developers.
Yeah, you guys are really cool with them, aren't you?
Yeah. So not personally me, but a lot of the guys. So before Black Ops 3 came out, maybe 6 months beforehand, 4 months beforehand, that sort of time, Mr. Raffle Waffles and Mr. Dalek JD, two zombies YouTubers, were in Germany, and Treyarch or Activision, whoever they said, hey, we have a surprise for you. So they took him to this place, and the head of zombies was there, and they ended up talking to him for 8 hours.
Are you Jesus?
Yeah. Now I don't know if you
Damn.
I guess I don't know if Milo or Mr. Raffle Waffles was at COD XP. I feel like he wasn't.
I think Mr. Raffle Waffles was, because because I remember, like, I think it was him I went to the zombies, there was like a zombies Q&A with some of the developers or whomever they were, and they were like joking around and shit. So I think and there was like, you could obviously see like the relationship between like the YouTubers and the developers. Like, you guys have a really tight, cool community.
Yeah.
But I think it was him.
that's kind of how zombies has evolved. Is in the really old days, people would make theory videos. So I don't know if you've ever played the original map, but it's just an airfield in the middle of nowhere. It's three rooms.
Okay.
And that's it. And the zombies come in, you have to try to survive for as long as you can. So, it's nothing like what we have today
like
where
now,
all this crazy stuff. It's just, all there is the box. You hit the box, you can get a gun. There's guns on the wall. That's it.
Super simple concept of it.
So, running with that, people started making videos and they say, oh, well, why are these soldiers here? What's going on? They started making storyline theory videos. I think they're going to go here next. I think they're going to go here. So, cool. Treyarch saw that. And then with the second map, they went a little more. They gave the players a little bit more. So they put writing on the wall and they said, we're going to give them this much. Let's see what they come up with, and then we'll do that, right?
Yeah.
So they actually took ideas and advice from the community of what people liked, what people thought. They said, that's a good idea. People really like that. Let's go with that idea. And then that's kind of how zombies expanded, right?
That's like the right way to do it, though, because you're literally taking the community, the people who play your game, their ideas and concepts, and then making it a reality, which just makes it more fun for everybody,
Yeah, exactly. So I think it would probably be good for Niantic to talk to some real people, and I mean, YouTubers are some of the best people to talk to because you're obviously you want Pokemon Go to do well. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, more than anybody. Trust me.
Yeah. So you could say, well, I like this, I like that. I think, this isn't when I have to make a video about this, it's really annoying and my fans don't like it either. You've got a really good input and you've got a really good viewpoint of the actual reality of how well Pokemon Go is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's important, but most companies, they don't want to talk to.
Yeah, which is weird because so I always use now I don't know if you've seen any of these videos or if anyone watching has seen any of these videos, but I've had countless, maybe 2 or 3 videos of some me complaining. I had a video called A Message to Niantic, and it was basically just me saying why their game is not doing good, why it's failing, and why the game is going to die if they don't fix some shit and do something different. And most of the main points were lack of communication. You guys don't communicate not only to your community but your YouTubers. And there were a lot of comparisons that I made between Niantic and Supercell, because I'm sure you've seen how Supercell works. I mean, they fly out their YouTubers. They've got them hosting their MLG events. They're really, really in tune with their YouTube community. They give them sneak peeks to upload before updates come out. They are tight. And that's why their YouTube community is one of the biggest on YouTube, and it's only a mobile gaming community. And they're so successful as a game because with the YouTube community, and you can attest to this, because I mean, zombies, like you said earlier, right now zombies is pretty stale for you guys, huh?
Yeah. Pretty stale, yeah.
But even at that, you guys still pull decent views. Noah J still rocks 7, 8, 10,000 people in a stream. I've never done that before.
Yeah.
So you guys hold in. You not only hold in your fan base just because people like you, but you hold in viewers and gamers. You keep people interested in zombies because they like watching you play zombies. And when, I don't know if you experience this, but when I go and watch YouTube Brock play Modern Warfare Remastered Game Battles, I'm like, fuck, dude, I want to play some Modern Warfare Remastered Game Battles right now. I don't want to play Pokemon Go. I want to play COD. So watching other people have fun and play games make you want to play it yourself. So you guys as the zombies YouTubers are helping keep zombies alive, even though there's not a lot coming to the game, just because you guys are continuously playing it. You guys are having fun with it, and it's motivating people to keep on playing it. And that's how myself and the other actually, that's something that we can really relate on, is just having a stale community and having to just deal with it. It sucks.
Yeah.
But myself and the other Pokemon Go guys, we didn't quit Pokemon Go, and a lot of people did, and we kind of held on to this in the community, and we've helped just keep it alive as much as we could. Until Generation 2 dropped, and then now and then it exploded. Everybody grew for a little bit, and then now it's kind of fading back down. So it's going back to the we gotta be very creative, keep the videos coming out, and keep people interested. But the YouTube community is a big responsibility, or it has a lot of responsibility and influence when it comes to keeping a game alive. In my opinion, the YouTube community is the #1 way you can tell the success of a game, because if you have a good game, right, it's good. You get it out there, people play it. It's all right. It won't last a long time if people don't want to make videos on it or look videos up on it, because every successful game you've ever seen has been popular on either YouTube or Twitch, right? Because if people are interested enough in the game, they're going to want to look it up. They're going to want to see, Let's Plays. They're going to see how-tos, funny moments, all that fun shit. And if your YouTube community isn't doing good, it means your game isn't doing good, because it's a direct reflection, because people aren't going on YouTube and watching because people just aren't as interested. So I'm sure you guys have seen a drop off in the Call of Duty Zombies views and channel stats when the game gets kind of stale, and that's just because people aren't as interested, people aren't playing as much, and when a new update comes out or when a new Zombies come out, everybody comes back. It's just kind of like the ups and downs. But YouTube is a big indicator on how successful your community is, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that, because I'm thinking about it now, and we actually have a very similar, I guess, struggle. I don't know, just situation, as you said, because with Zombies it's a little bit different than Pokemon Go, but the both are is with Zombies. If you look at a year where Zombies actually is going around, every 2 or 3 months you get a new DLC map. So, you get the launch, and that's the big boost, right? And then kind of tapers off. And then as a new map comes up, people start getting excited. The map drops, Easter egg stuff, boom, thousands and thousands of new subscribers. I mean, Noah would have 60,000 upwards to 100,000 people watching his zombie streams.
Bro, who the fuck gets 100K concurrent viewers? That is insane. I saw that and I was like, I'm quitting Pokemon. I'm going to go to Zombies, bro.
Yeah, his max for, I think, all time was about 120,000 for Revelations.
Oh my god.
So I say this, it's up and down and up and down, and then Revelations finally tapers off. And now we're in this phase where I feel like you were probably there with Pokemon Go for these months. Is like you said, there's still the community, and making videos about it. It really does keep it relevant.
Yeah.
If no one was making videos about it, like you said, no one cares about the game. And then now you're at this point where finally Gen 2's coming, and it comes, and you get this huge burst. I mean, I saw you doing like 300, 400,000 views a video.
Yeah, it was big.
Because it's new Pokemon, right? It's exciting. And then it's kind of going to taper off a bit. Yeah. I feel like with Pokemon Go, they're probably going to do a big update in the summertime, in July, probably.
So summertime. So, and actually, funny you said that. So John Hankey, I'm going to reference him a lot just because
this is the CEO guy. Yeah.
He's a CEO. Yeah. By the way, for everybody. Yeah. And these last couple days.
That, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you said it. I just wanted to clarify it was the same guy.
Okay. Oh yeah, gotcha.
Anyways.
Yeah. So these last couple of days have been actually really, really big news for Pokemon Go, which is pretty good timing on this podcast. There was a keynote, and do you know what GDC is?
Oh, it's something in San Francisco. It's like
it's like a game developer convention, basically.
Yeah, everyone in London seemed to be going to GDC.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
But they're all mobile game developers, so yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's just a big development thing. So it's like if PAX was just really small and not PAX. That's what GDC is. But a lot of big companies go there. So Niantic was there, and Senor John was there, and he was talking about the game, and he did like a 30-minute keynote, just talking about just basic shit. And then at the end, he was like, actually, I don't know if I still have I screenshotted the quote for my video, but it's not that important. Basically, he said, 2017 has 4 major updates coming in it. One of them already being Gen 2. They're going to do quarterly updates. So like every 3 months, a big update will come out. So Gen 2 already came out. That was the big update of the beginning of the year. And that actually explains why they didn't drop Gen 2 earlier or, in 2016, because they're on the quarterly system. So 2017, they're going to have another update coming out in the more like spring pre-summer season. Which will be a big update, and I'm saying my predictions were breeding for that, or maybe something bigger. I don't know. So along those lines, right? It's going to be like a pretty big update, and then summer's going to roll around. They got to do a big update for summer because it's going to be the 1-year anniversary of Pokemon. It's going to be summertime, so everyone's going to be outside playing. So summer's going to be.
It's got to be Gen 3.
Yeah, it has to be, because you cannot go 11 months. They tried going 7 months without a new generation of Pokemon, and they almost killed the game. So if they try going 11 months, dude, I'm going to shoot somebody at Niantic. So they'll definitely have Generation 3 coming out over the summer, guaranteed, like 100%.
Well, go ahead.
No, all you.
Okay, I was gonna say, Gen 3. At least what I see with my people when I play my people, my audience, Gen 3 is the most requested, more requested than Sun and Moon. People want to see Generation 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the cooler generations.
I think it's the age too, right? Is Gen 1?
Right, actually, I never thought
Gen
of that.
1 dropped 1997 or 99, I think.
Yeah.
I think 97 in Japan, 99 here. So I mean, I was 4 when Gen 1 dropped. But
exactly.
I was 5 or 6 when Gen 2 dropped, and I must have been 10 when Gen 3 dropped, right?
Uh-huh.
So a lot of the younger, a lot of people my age, they got into Gen 3. I think that was really the game that people got. So I feel as though Gen 3 update is going to be much bigger than Gen 2.
And I really, really hope so. And actually, I want to kind of go back on that. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. Like, I never even considered the ages of people when the generations dropped. I mean, Generation 1 and 2 were a big majority of people's favorite generations just because, like, they were the starter ones. It was like the OG, right? Everyone loves the OGs. But yeah, Gen 3, like, that's – and my audience, so I've actually – the biggest difference with Pokemon Go when you talk about like YouTubing is the fact that I have to leave my apartment and go out and shoot videos outside, and I'm always at the pier. So like I meet a lot of people who watch my videos, and although the age ranges from like 6 years old to 70, 80, the majority are like the younger kids, like people not, I guess not necessarily our age, but like a little bit younger. But like Generation 3, it's going to be one of those generations that a lot of people who watch my videos or play Pokemon Go grew up on. So I'm actually, now that you said that, I'm extra excited for summer because I'm like very hopeful now that it's going to make some sort of a comeback. And plus, I mean, they've made with recent updates, UI improvements, the game looks and feels and plays just a hell of a lot better. They're making server improvements. Like they're working on the game. They're doing good things with it. So by the time summer rolls around, it should be some kick-ass game. And yeah, Gen 3's got to come out. And I'm going to have to go and watch the online version of the Generation 3 series so I can learn the Pokemon. But I'm definitely excited for that. That's going to be sick.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Gen 3?
Gen 3 Pokemon?
Yeah. I'm not going to know what you're talking about, but I'm curious.
Okay, I would probably have to say Gardevoir.
Actually, you know what? How do you Gardevoir?
G-A-R-D-E-V-O-I-R.
I think I've seen that. Oh, really? This...
Yeah, so it's more for just her power. It's a psychic, just strong Pokemon.
Okay.
The other one, I know that this is kind of the Charizard of Gen 3 is Blaziken. It's
Blaziken.
Fire starter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge one.
Face Blaziken, like that's
exactly. Yeah. Dude, I didn't even think about that. It's just a Pokemon.
Someone said like a Blaziken. I was talking to my friend Jonathan about Gen 3, and he's like, "Yeah, Blaziken's gonna be crazy." I'm like, "Wait, Face Blaziken? Like, are you making a joke?" He's like, "No, the Pokemon's called that." I'm like, "What the fuck?" He named himself after the Pokemon. I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah. Other Pokemon that are cool though. I mean, there's a lot, but
yeah.
I would say Gen 2 is one of. Gen 2 was my first Pokemon game.
Okay.
And it's my favorite. I mean, I'll still go back and play it just for lulz. And it's like it used to take me 24 hours to beat it. Now I can beat it in 2 hours, right? So it's crazy. But that honestly probably the worst generation of Pokemon to be completely.
Gen 2, you think?
Well, I mean, there were some really bad later.
I heard the
gens.
later ones get kind of weird.
5 was a weird one because they had a lot of odd items. There's a garbage Pokemon. There's a ice cream Pokemon. There's like nuts and bolts it's like, Pokemon,
Yeah.
There's a vacuum. There's a Pokemon that's electricity, and it can take 5 or 6 different forms. It could be a vacuum cleaner, a blender, a refrigerator, all these weird stuff. So
okay.
Gen 5 got pretty out there, but like Gen 2. Everybody knows the Gen 1 Pokemon. Pikachu and Charizard and Bulbasaur and Squirtle. Everybody knows that. So obviously, when Gen 1 dropped, people are already familiar with that Pokemon because everyone kind of knows those Pokemon.
Yeah.
But Gen 2, honestly, I don't think Gen 2 has that many good Pokemon.
Well, and see, even I was thinking that when I started playing and I was looking at charts and shit, and I'm like, there's not a lot of like big boys in Generation 2. There's not a lot to look forward to catching.
Yeah,
which is a scary thought.
What's the real hype Pokemon right now for Gen 2? Are there a few?
Gen 2 is as small as Gen 2 is, and as not hype as it is. Niantic did some creative shit when making it because it is a really good generation for Pokemon Go, just in general and on YouTube because there's a lot of very, very rare Pokemon. So I guess the most hype one would probably be Tyranitar. Tyranitar is like, the Pokemon of Gen 2, right?
It's the Dragonite of Gen 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Tyranitar is definitely like the hype Pokemon, but it's not the most rare. The most rare Pokemon in Generation 2, Ampharos is amongst the, I think, top 10 most rare, not including the unknown. Yeah, Ampharos is like, it's the best electric attacker out of Gen 2. It's like one of the best electric attackers in the game right now. I'm not even close to mine, and I play this game every day. So, like, it's a hard Pokemon to get.
So, Mareep, that's the...
Yeah, Mareep.
So those are hard to find?
Yeah, those are super rare. And they don't have, like, a specific biome as far as I'm concerned. Like, they're kind of just random where they pop up. Like, they're hard to get. So finding a wild Ampharos, I think this YouTuber in my community, Ben Tim, did it, lucky bastard, because that is like impossible. So Ampharos is really, really rare. The unknown Pokemon were unknown Generation 1, or was that that was
No,
Gen
they were
that was
two.
Gen
It was
2.
Gen
Yeah, that
2.
was 2.
Yeah.
I remember the episode. It was like an acid trip of an episode. It was really weird. But the unknowns, I think, are the rarest in the game.
But they're not like legendary.
They have no use.
Well, they're not legendaries, but
yeah.
you can't find them though.
You can find the unknowns in the game, but they are the most rare. And there's the whole alphabet, so there's like a lot of unknowns to find, and they are literally impossible to find. Those are up there in the most rare. But it's one of those Pokemon that like I can't do videos on just because I probably will find one every month if I'm lucky, or if I get out and play more, maybe more. But it's one of those where like when you find one, you're like, holy shit, like this is an unknown Pokemon. Like it's like that.
The funny thing about unknown is it sucks.
Yeah, and there's no use whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's like 600 CP at max.
Were you gonna say shiny Pokemon?
Shiny Pokemon,
is that a thing?
For them,
oh.
they're so they're in the game technically. They're not released yet, but they're in the game. And we know so much about shiny Pokemon without them being dropped. We have like the smartest people, and I don't know if you know Sylph Road and Pokemon Go Hub, but like the community for Pokemon Go is just advanced as fuck. But that's a whole other conversation. Basically, shiny Pokemon, we know the odds. The odds in finding a shiny Pokemon, I think, is like 1 in 8,100. There's the exact number. Huh. I don't have it on me, but like we know the exact number.
Almost the exact same as real Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, which is I think I found 4 or 5 shiny Pokemon in my entire of life.
They're right.
Yeah. And actually in the new game it's 1 in like 4,096, but
okay,
so they made it half as unlikely, but still 1 in 8,000.
Yeah,
I haven't caught 8,000 Pokemon. I don't know.
I'm gonna log in and check how many Pokemon I've caught, but
does it track your total?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, it does. I forgot which badge.
You can only have so many Pokemon. Oh, right. Yeah, you get a trophy for it or an achievement for it.
Yeah, but your Pokedex. The Pokedex right now is pretty small, but you definitely can track.
Dude, I heard, is Blissey really OP?
Bro, fuck Blissey.
Yeah.
Blissey is. But oh, by the way, I've caught 9,700 Pokemon so far.
Okay, so you probably would have caught
if
at
it
least
was
one shiny in there.
If it was out. Blissey. Let me tell you about Blissey, man. When they dropped Blissey, so Blissey, they haven't nerfed it yet, but they made it more manageable to deal with. When Chansey was out, everyone knew like this thing is hard. It's annoying to beat in a gym, and it's only Chansey. Like there's another evolution of this bitch in 2nd gen. So when Blissey dropped, oh my god, it was it was like a Blissey in every single gym. Like when you got a Blissey, that was what you used for a gym. So a lot of people, most people couldn't even beat it. Like you'd have to use a maxed out Dragonite in order to take down a Blissey, and it still would take you almost the full 100 seconds. And the main reason behind that wasn't only because the Blissey, and I don't know if you know like the HP counts and how much they, but like a maxed out Blissey you can get to around, if not over 400 HP, which an average Pokemon in Pokemon Go, like your Dragonite, is less than 200. So 400 is just fucking stupid.
Dang.
Like, that's insane. Yeah. So they took away quick attacking in Pokemon Go. Like they kind of nerfed the attacks, so all the attacks were a little bit slower. And then that's what made it impossible to take out Blisseys. They updated that, so the attacks are back and they're quick again, so like you can actually grind a Blissey down. But bro, yeah, they are still a pain in the arse to find in a gym. They're tough.
yeah, that's
Blissey's a fun one.
Okay, I figured Blissey would be bad. I know in competitive Pokemon, it's one of the most annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
And actually, Chansey is the worst because there's an item that if your Pokemon isn't fully evolved, it makes its defense it doubles its defense basically.
Oh, the Chansey's defense?
Yeah. So imagine, like a Chansey, which already has enough HP, right? But
it
takes half the damage. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to deal with that.
Yeah. So anyways, sounds like good stuff is coming for Gen 3.
Yeah, no, Gen 3 will be exciting. The game will be much better. It'll be a fun summer. 2K17 will be good.
Yeah, man, that was the greatest thing is, I mean, where I live, there is nothing. There's
really
2 or 3 Pokestops where I live. It's a town of maybe 8,000 people, so it's really weak. But when I was in California,
oh god,
one of the best places ever, right? Yeah. Like Santa Monica Pier. Heard that's the best place to catch Pokemon ever.
Yeah,
I mean I've been there, but I heard statistically, it's the best spot. So
even so in don't worry. Pat, you're not the only person in a situation where people, you don't have a lot of stuff around you to catch Pokemon. Like that's a big problem because not everyone lives in Santa Monica. Not everybody has the pier or, New York, the Times Square right there. So they've been improving rural spawns, and even now, I don't know how I feel about this, but rural spawns I get way better screenshots of people catching cool stuff than I get at Santa Monica. The Santa Monica spawns have been nerfed like crazy, and rural spawns are great. So I don't know about where you live, but like technically in like all rural areas, the spawns are you logging on to check?
I'm gonna check in right
okay.
now.
Yeah, rural spawns are really good. So like they
Okay.
made living out, in less populated areas not better than, obviously like the cities, just because there's Pokestops and lures and more people, but the rural spawns definitely are better. But that was a struggle that they had to work on too, that they had to fix, and it took a couple months to do. Because a lot of people quit for that reason. Like, you log on, you play for a little bit, it's cool, but then nothing spawns around you, and then it's not fun anymore. You can only catch so many Pidgeys and rats before the game gets boring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, rural spawns were improved.
That's good, because it kind of didn't. Man, I can't even sign in. It's just I'm just on the.
It's not having it. Oh gosh.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Is it didn't really make sense that you can catch more Pokemon in a Walmart parking lot than out in the woods, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the exact opposite of what you would think.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably one thing that Niantic. It was one of those like. They didn't want to do this, but they had to for like the future of their game. Like I'm sure they'd rather have better spawns be out in the wild, but like realistically, they have to have it in more populated areas so people play.
Okay, so
yeah, what do you got
here right now? I have 3 Pokemon.
Okay.
I have a Spinarak.
Nice.
A Hoot.
All right.
And what looks like a Swinub.
Swinub's pretty rare. Piloswine's a good Pokemon.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's all I got. So, and there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing in my actual. Oh, there is a Spinarak. Okay, well there you go.
There you go. Hey, there it is.
Yeah, but anyways, it's pretty dead. It'd
be
a pretty big waste of time to play here, but yeah, man. So Pokemon Go's doing good on your channel, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was a struggle. Like I can definitely. This is actually the first time I've ever experienced a real content struggle, and it was. I'm gonna get deep with you real quick here, if that's okay, right?
Go for it, man.
As a YouTuber, as a content creator, when shit hits the fan and your stats start dropping, you start thinking about life. You're like, if everything stops happening here, like how am I might have to move back home. I gotta have to get a real job. Like it's a lot of dark thoughts cross your head. But for the people listening, they're probably thinking like, oh, these douchebags get paid to play video games, and they're all concerned about it. So basically, the big reason why I moved to Pokemon Go out of Clash of Clans is because Clash of Clans was a dying game. There were not a lot of updates coming. Supercell was neglecting it. So like I kind of experienced the real, like content loss, like not having something every day to upload. And it's kind of a shitty feeling. But when Pokemon Go came out, obviously it was like 3 or 4 months of just awesome videos and fun stuff. And then the past 2-3 months have been really, really dry. And I've been like I've switched recently my content from like just straight gameplay of Pokemon Go over to like vlogs. So like I'll record my day. I added like the whole Casey Neistat editing feel into it, like making the videos more about me and about personality rather than the game itself, which is, for me, it was like one of my biggest YouTube strategy jumps in content. But the main reason behind that wasn't because I wanted to make cooler, more edited, more fun videos, because I do. It takes a lot more time out of my day, but they're fun to do. But it's like I literally had nothing to upload. I had so little things to do in the game that I started resulting to life vlogs mixed with Pokemon, which sounds cool and it works. It works perfectly. It's like this is like the one game you can actually do that with. But personally, I'd rather go out, record for 3 hours, come back, edit for 1 hour, and then be done with my day. But now it's like a whole 12-hour process, 18-hour process for a video.
Dang.
Yeah, but it's when views started dropping and I started like really thinking about, what am I gonna do with my life here? Like I started having those thoughts. Like it was a dark time. Time's not good when you're like, what am I gonna do in life? Like
yeah. You know what though, man? I feel like it's a good thing to experience that though.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Because you feel the pressure. And that's it's hard when you don't have any content to make, but like when things start going down, everything's on the decline. It does bring you up to, okay, I can either quit or make better videos, right?
Yeah, well, and so and it teaches you a lot about and again, I'm gonna get deep with you. It teaches a lot about
go for
it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I mean, I see that Pink Floyd album out there. They got some pretty deep songs, so I'm feeling it. That's a beautiful display, by the way. Guns N' Roses too. Like,
okay.
Bro, yeah, Sweet Child of Mine was one of my favorite songs to play on the guitar. I couldn't play the whole thing because I wasn't that good.
I'm very impressed. You can even see that because I'm looking at my camera. It's
dude,
so
I
flat.
can recognize the Guns N' Roses freaking cross like on that album cover from a mile away. But yeah, so you know when shit hits the fan and when you start, I guess, experiencing a loss of success. Anywhere in life, and it doesn't have to be just YouTube. Like, you know, we experience this as content creators, and you know, people working at Walmart experience this when they, you know, lose their job. Like, it's kind of a thing that I just compared myself to somebody who lost their job. I'm an asshole.
Well, let's say they're getting less hours maybe. Or
yeah,
like
exactly.
That, right?
Thank you. Yeah. You start, you know, you try to find ways to cope with that, and I personally struggled with, in the past couple months, depression, which is something that like I haven't fucked with a lot, but like recently it's been kind of hitting me hard. And it's been a combination of like living alone, working long hours. You know, it's a lot of the more time you have to think amongst yourself, you know, the more thoughts you have, the more good thoughts and bad thoughts. So it's a lot of learning about yourself when this kind of stuff happens. You know, I've been trying to convert that into like positivity, like, you know, eating better, going to the gym. Like I've been actually a lot better. I've been a better person since my stats went to shit, which is good. But you get a lot more strategic. You get a lot more conservative with your money. I know money and money is something that, you know, YouTubers just completely stay away from when talking about you know, money on YouTube is the devil's currency. You know, as a rapper, you know, you talk about all the money you make, but when you become a YouTuber, it's complete opposite. But when I started making YouTube videos, and I had months where, you know, I made a significant amount of money, and I was like, I'm a fucking baller. I'm gonna go buy a car. You know, like it's like you kind of have those when you're at your peaks. You know, you have the impulse purchases. You have all that kind of stuff. And then when stuff starts, you know, views start going down, your stats start dropping, then you're like, okay, now I need to start saving and investing. So it definitely is good to hit those lows, just because you start thinking differently, but it's like a good different, you know, strategy wise. I started thinking a lot more about investments, about, you know, where to move my money, how to keep this dream of YouTube alive, even if my stats aren't there to do it. You know, it's a lot of that.
It's really easy to have a good month and think, okay, this is where I am.
This
now,
is gonna last forever.
This is just you're not thinking in the long term. You're thinking, okay, this is where I am today, and I made this much money today, so I can afford to spend this much money, you know, every day now, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing with YouTube, man, is you gotta think the long term, which is so scary because YouTube is not a long term gig, right? It's
not at all.
I mean, in a month, you know, you could
lose everything.
You could lose most of it, right? Yeah. You
Yeah.
could really do some stupid stuff and just, you know, it can end at any time, right? And
yeah.
You see with PewDiePie, you know, people trying to attack him and stuff. It's not going to happen when you only have 1 million subscribers, but there's so much volatility in YouTube, and you don't know what's going to happen today, tomorrow. You can get a video with 1 million views, or, you know, you can start slowly dropping down, and that creep when you feel it, you know, oh, it's not there. It's scary. Yeah. And like,
it is
for me. I mean, I'm at the point, there's no way I could make a zombies video every day, right? I try to do daily uploads. It's just impossible at this point, because there really all you can do is new features, news, theories, stuff like that. And right now there's no new content. So I mean, it seems, I mean, it doesn't seem, it's definitely guaranteed. YouTube is prioritizing live streaming and longer content and all that stuff.
Watch time is big right now.
Yeah, watch time, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you put up an 1.5-hour video of a stream, obviously that does really well. So for me, I felt that too, man. And it was weird because I ended up getting pushed into the thing that I enjoy more. I was trying to make videos and nothing was really working. So I said, well, I mean, live streaming is what's really doing well on YouTube. So maybe I should just push towards doing live streams every day.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you see, I mean, it's the thing with live streaming too is the views from the live stream tack onto the video after it's published. So
exactly, which is like an awesome system.
Yeah, because you do your stream and it gets the views and it's in the sub boxes, and then it publishes, it goes back up to the sub boxes. So you almost get two hits to the sub box, right? So, you know, it hits the sub box the second time with already 30,000 views. So I don't know, live streaming is something that it's hard to do, because I feel as though if I was a viewer, right, watching live content is great. But if you just want to pop on and watch a 10-minute video, it sucks when all this person uploads is hour, 2 hour, 3 hour videos.
Yeah.
So collectively, right, people like my live streams more than my videos, I would say, because they get way more views. But I feel bad for those people that
want those 10 minutes.
Yeah, they just want to pop in, see what's up, and that's it, right?
Yeah. Well, see, and the thing with YouTube, it's just it changes so quick, and like we were saying, it could go up and down at any time. But with the quick changing that we as YouTubers experience, or like how quickly the communities change, and especially YouTube gaming is 100% dependent on the company and the updates, right? Like you're literally scheduling your life. Like when Revelations dropped, I'm damn sure you were like, I am not doing anything this week but sitting down and grinding this, right? Like
oh yeah, you're stocking up on food.
Exactly.
Like free making food. For me, I didn't really go that heavy on Revelations, but when I was at the Z House for the previous map, it was all day, wake up, 6 hours of sleep, which I guess to people they're like, 6 hours of sleep. But when you stream for 24 hours straight, and then you get 6 hours and then go back to streaming for the rest of the day and then do that like 2 or 3 more days,
that's rough.
It
that
adds up.
Toll.
Yeah. I mean, Noah. Go ahead. I was just gonna say Noah's notorious for doing 24-hour live streams, but
I couldn't do that, dude. I'd die. I'd die on stream.
Got to get that caffeine.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, yes. What were you say?
Well, so with how rapidly YouTube changes as a whole, and how rapidly communities change depending on updates and whatnot, the fan base has to be able to adapt with their YouTuber. Like with your situation, and as you talk more about how you're doing YouTube and how your stuff, how your life is on YouTube, I keep realizing like how similar our situation really is. From the lack of updates to content switches, like you went from the 10-minute videos, the more video style YouTube, over to live streaming. And that's a big jump. That's a really big jump as a content creator, because you're going from one to the other. Right? They're polar opposites. But people still love it. People still watch it. More people watch it. But there are going to be those people who are upset and who don't like the new version, and who might unsubscribe or not watch as many videos. But those are hits you're going to have to take, and that we have to take as YouTubers when adapting. But viewers have to understand that we as YouTubers can't do the same stuff for too long straight, because then it gets boring, it gets stale, we run out of ideas, then it just like cripples down. So we got to adapt, and if the people who are watching us want to are willing to adapt with us and keep and stick with us, then those are your loyal fans. Those are the people you want to hang on to. But it's just you're gonna lose people.
That's the thing is sometimes you gotta lose some people if you want to keep your channel going, right? Yeah. And it's sad because I mean, for me last week, I just tried. I had a really open week, so I said I'm just gonna do 2 live streams a day. I'm gonna do 1 zombies, 1 Pokemon.
Okay.
And it was interesting because I already had people subscribing for Pokemon, and they said, "Hey man, when's your next Pokemon stream gonna be?" And I'd be like, "All right, I'll do it later tonight," or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the other side of it is you're alienating so many people. I didn't change my zombies content one bit. I streamed the exact same amount of time I would normally. Hour to 2 hours, that was it. Exact same thing I would have done had I not done the Pokemon. The only difference was I added more content, but people get mad at that, right? Because it's not what they want to see. You're alienating them, and they want, I want to see only zombies, and you're
and you're doing Pokemon. You're a traitor.
Yeah. Especially going from a FPS game where you're blowing zombies' heads off to a slower game like Pokemon, where
that's a
you're
jump.
battling and stuff. It is a big jump, but I don't know. It's cool. And YouTube, they just rolled out Super Chat. I don't know if you know much about that, but
could you give me like a 3-second lesson on that? Because I've heard about it. I have no clue what it is.
Yeah. So it's a new way to donate, basically.
Okay.
And it's cool because you don't have to do it on the computer. You can do it on your phone or whatever. And you hit the Super Chat button, and you have a slider of how much you can donate. So it goes from $1 all the way up to $500 or 500 of whatever your currency is. Yeah. So if you donate $1, it doesn't, you can't write a comment for a $1 Super Chat donation, but your name pops up in blue as it goes through the chat, because you know how crazy YouTube chat is, right? It's like,
it flies. Yeah.
It just flies. So your comment gets you get highlighted basically as it goes up, but there's no comment. For $2, you can write at $2 and up, you can write a comment. So a $2 to $4.99 donation will basically scroll through in blue, and there's a comment. So it's just highlighted, right?
Okay.
For $5 and more, it will scroll, and then at the top of the chat there'll be like a little list of like the last people who have donated over $5, and then you can click on that and see what they've said. So if you donate $5, I think it lasts a minute, maybe 30 seconds. Or you can go all the way up, it progresses, right? So you can go all the way up to 500, which basically will last the entirety of the live stream, no matter how long, or something like 6 hours.
I hope it
or
would,
something. Yeah. So I think, honestly, like, I've never really accepted donations just because it's a huge issue with chargebacks. I don't know if you've...
Oh God, yeah, I've experienced that in a little bit of streaming I've done.
Yeah, I mean, I back 2 or 3 years ago, I got a $100 donation when I was, pretty young, and that was still like, wow, holy. I mean, it still is like, if someone donates $100, it's crazy. Yeah. But back at the time, it was like I was in high school, and like,
that's like a big,
you're a kid, like, yeah, it's like, holy shit, this is like, whatever. So this is lunch for the next like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's squad food.
Yeah, right, exactly. So at that time, I mean, I dedicated 10 minutes to the video. I was like, guys, like this guy's awesome and all this stuff. Anyways, charge back the next day. So that stuff is so annoying. But with Super Chat, it's only a credit card. So if you want to charge back, it's a huge major issue, right? Because you got to go through.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's a really good way to interact with people, because if they want to get noticed, right, it's easier for them. And it's not the whole issue of chargebacks, and you don't have $1 million donations in your PayPal account, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I wouldn't say no to $1 million donations, but
Well,
yeah. But anyways, so yeah, Super Chat is really cool, and it was a smart thing on YouTube.
What's the percentage they take? Isn't it like 30? They take a big chunk of that.
Do they?
I
have no idea.
Okay, yeah, I think.
I hope not.
That was the one. That was the biggest complaint that I heard, because I have heard about Super Chat. I haven't heard of like exactly how it works, but I know that the biggest complaint from a lot of YouTubers was the fact that it took, I think, 30% of the donation. So a lot of people were going and using like third-party donation sites and stuff that obviously both prevented the chargebacks and everything.
Yeah.
But I heard they take quite a big cut of that, but at the same time, for what you get, it's a really good system. Like, that's a great system.
It's a really good system. Yeah. See, that's a lot to take.
30% is huge. That is a big
YouTube.
Cut.
You don't just right. Someone sends you $100. They're sending YouTube 30 of that. That's not fair. It should be like 5%.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, if that's true, I don't know.
And YouTube already takes 60% of your channel's actual real revenue, like 50 or 60%.
I think it's 55, maybe. Google takes 55. Yeah.
That
was funny when we were in London. We were sitting at we got to go to Google.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here. I think I was sitting with Sniper Wolf, and she's like, I paid for 55% of my ad revenue went to this cafeteria. I'm eating as much as I want.
Yeah. Actually, I remember saying that.
Yeah, really.
Like, you're damn right.
Yeah.
I'm getting thirds.
Taking everything I want. Yeah. But so what are your long-term plans for YouTube anyways? Are you just...
I'm telling you, dude, these last 3 months have been... These last 3 months have been the most just self-enlightening months I've ever had. I've thought about everything, and YouTube has been the biggest thought of that, because YouTube is the reason why I'm fucking simping all the time now. But my original goal as a YouTuber when I started was just to make videos and get them out there for fun, right? It was just we all kind of started for fun. Well, a lot of us did, at least. And it blew up from there. And then I guess the focus was, okay, well, now I want to be a mobile gaming YouTuber. I want to get videos out. I want to be able to make money off of playing video games and having a community of people who like my videos. Like, I want to be a YouTuber. Like, that's what being a YouTuber is all about, right? You get paid to do what you want, which is fucking awesome. And if you do it well enough, people will come back and keep watching you, and then you've got like an actual fan base. And I always thought that was the coolest thing. Like I said, I was the biggest fan of KOR Speedy. I was like, this is so sick that he's got a fan base and he gets paid for playing video games with his friends. Like, what more could you want? And then I started as a high school kid too, so it was I was all up in video games. but now I think my focus my focus went from, wanting to be a YouTuber to wanting to be a successful person in life, and that was more business related. So I started doing more business stuff and focusing more on business. And that's kind of shifted now back to wanting to be a YouTuber. But like, I have like that dream of like, there's like sections of YouTube community, right? Like there's like the really irrelevant people, and then like there's the like popular people, kind of popular people, and then there's people who are like popular in their communities, and then there's people that like everyone knows, right? Like everyone knows PewDiePie, everyone knows Justine, everyone knows Nadeshot. Like there's like the big heads, Casey. I know that I'm not anywhere near that, nor I probably will ever be, but like that's like the goal now for me. Like I want to be able to build myself, and that's why I've been going more life vlog. I want to be able to build myself up to a point in my YouTube career where like, like I'm considered like big, like I'm actual real, like I made it. I really, really made it. You and I, we both have made it as YouTubers, like, over 1 million subscribers, you have absolutely made it. But like, I guess there's a difference between like a YouTuber and like a YouTube celebrity, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never really had a good way to explain that, but that actually is very on the ball. If you follow YouTube, there's a chance you might know people like us.
Yeah.
But most people in the real world know who PewDiePie is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And furthermore, I mean, you might watch just random YouTube videos, you go to the homepage, whatever's there. You might, like you said, you might know iJustine, or a lot of people know Casey Neistat and stuff,
Yeah.
which I find is so crazy because he only has 6 million subscribers, right?
Which, if you think about it, isn't a ton for how popular he actually is.
Yeah, right. He's just a very big personality, man. It's crazy. But yeah, for 6 million subscribers, I mean, there's some much bigger people like Jacksepticeye. Let's say him, right?
Yeah.
14 million subs, I think. No, better one, Vanoss Gaming, okay? Because he doesn't show his face, right?
Yeah.
I think he has 20 million, 18 million subscribers.
Actually, he's got 20. I was just watching a video from him today.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I wouldn't check it.
I would guarantee you the average person 10 times over would know Casey Neistat before they knew Vanoss Gaming.
And it's crazy because Vanoss almost averages as many views as Casey Neistat subscribers. But everyone knows who Casey is over Vanoss.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, yeah. So, and that's just, the whole, like, I guess just, there's a difference between, YouTubing and then, like, there's a point where you become an actual celebrity.
Yeah.
Like, if you're ever in a YouTube Rewind, you're a celebrity, pretty much. Like, you've made it there.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. YouTube Rewind really isn't YouTube. Because I was thinking, okay, who are the big names of 2016? And to me, I was thinking the 3 people that come to my mind that I really think that stood out in 2016 was Leafy, iDubbbz, and H3H3.
Yeah.
Those are 3 guys.
Rice Gum, too.
Rice Gum was another one. Yeah. People that really came onto the scene. And, they're not in it because they're not, they're YouTube famous, but they're not, like, really famous, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and even I don't know if you noticed at YouTube headquarters in London, there was not one gaming person on that entire screen. It's like they had Pro Gamer. I don't know if it was Pro Gamer
Jay. Yeah, they had Jay on there.
Yeah, they had Jay. And I don't want to start shit, but like I'm really I don't know if you see my channel. I'm like very anti clickbait. But I've just kind of let that go recently. But like he's like the clickbait guy. Like
he knows he is.
Oh, I know. I honestly hate his channel, but like respect to him for doing what he's doing. He's a genius guy. But like they had him on the wall, like. He breaks your terms of service, and he's on your wall. What the hell?
He directly lies to his subscribers. He says, subscribe, and it will turn blue. It's crazy, man, but I promise you it will happen. So anyways, guys, let's get, like...
Yeah,
you're not even going to, there's a way to do that. And, you could say that and then make fun of yourself or something, at least. But no, it's
not a joke.
Yeah, it baffles me, man. It really baffles me. But I don't know. It's just. Well, I don't know why don't they prioritize gamers?
And actually, this is a conversation that I definitely want to get into, and something that I was talking about this a shit ton at YouTube HQ, and I was even asking one of the YouTube guys there about. I was up this dude's ass about the sub boxes. And I could tell you about
I was right there. I was right there with you as you were having that conversation.
Yeah. I think I figured it out. I think I figured out the sub boxes. Which if you're interested in, we can talk about. But with YouTube, right now. So, and this is entirely, a me, what I think. I don't know if this is like exactly factual, but it all makes sense in my head. So right now, YouTube is in a point where they're so big, and they compete with names like Netflix, with Comcast, DirecTV. Like, they are so big right now in the world of entertainment that they are one of the biggest. They're like one of the lead entertainment sources in the world. People go to YouTube just like they go on their TV. I watch more YouTube than I watch television. I can't tell you. I don't even have cable in my apartment. So YouTube, they're in a point where they either stay where they are and stay YouTube, or they grow bigger and become one of the main entertainment sources in the world, which is what they're trying to do. So they're basically moving there, and this is exactly why you don't see any like gamers when you go into YouTube headquarters. Like, it's all vloggers and personalities. They're moving their focus from gaming and from the funny homemade videos over to the celebrity-like people, over to the personalities, which is why YouTube Rewind, you'll see people you've never seen in your life before who are completely irrelevant on YouTube, but they've got a big fan base and they're more personality-based, and YouTube wants to promote them. YouTube wants people to come back and watch for the personalities. They want to promote their YouTube original series because those make just stupid amounts of money. They're really about the personality right now, and they're about watch time, and they want people to come back to watch every day. And that's why a lot of YouTubers, and this is why I made the jump from regular gaming over to vlogging. A lot of YouTubers have not dropped gaming, but some have dropped gaming, and a lot of people have gone to like vlogging and stuff like that. It's just because the way YouTube's moving, they're moving towards personality. They're moving towards wanting to make the original like YouTube Red series. And it's just, it's like the trend, I guess, that they're trying to move towards.
Yeah, I think FaceHouse Face Clan is a really good representation of that. And I think they're the guys that have done it the best, is they've gone from being a sniper clan for Call of Duty to, there's multiple guys. I'm sure between the 10 of them or however many there are, probably 25 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Or something like multiple with at least 4 million, right?
Yeah.
They're huge. They're huge.
Yeah, and they get, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of views on vlogs, and they're gaming channels,
Yeah, but
like,
that's the cool thing is I'm a gamer, but I do vlogs, right? So like people like you because, oh, he's into gaming and I'm into gaming, So if you're a Call of Duty fan, it's easy to get into that. And then you get the personality on top of it.
Exactly, and plus the eccentric life of a Face Clan member, dude, living in a LA mansion, driving around your Range Rover all day. I'd watch the vlog.
Must be nice.
Must be nice, right?
Yeah. So that totally makes sense. And I think the thing is if you're promoting your gamers, you're not gonna bring in a bigger audience. It's kind of the people that are watching that. It's gonna grow, but they're kind of already there. Right.
Yeah, and actually, I haven't even thought of that. That's a great point too.
So you're trying to expand your market, and I think the market to break into for YouTube is the older people.
Yeah, right? and the more like entertainment based.
Yeah. The people that are into more kind of professionally done, which is weird because YouTube is all about. The thing that makes YouTube great is the unprofessionalism of it.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel. It's weird times and things are happening.
Yep.
Like YouTube TV. I don't know. Did you see that yesterday? Was announced.
No. What was? I saw. Didn't H3? He was saying like good stuff about it. So I'm assuming.
So, yeah, it's basically a real TV service. It's
wow.
It's you pay for it as though you'd pay for Netflix or whatever, and it's $35 a month. You get all kinds of actual TV channels, and they're going to somehow integrate YouTube into that. So what Philip DeFranco was saying is perhaps maybe you watch, I don't know, Stranger Things on Netflix or something, or some sort of TV show. And then after that, they'll show a couple of YouTube videos of people reacting to that episode, stuff like that.
Okay.
So incorporating their platform that they already have into TV. So it's going to be kind of a Netflix platform where you can have like 6 different accounts. 3 people can be signed in at once.
And there you go. I didn't even know about that, but that's exactly what I'm trying to. That's what I was like going for. Yeah. See, they're already this is the big move now. And that reaction idea, that dude, if they will pay YouTubers and partner up with these shows to do the reactions, and that's going to pull so many new people into those shows because who doesn't want to see their favorite YouTuber react to some crazy show,
Yeah, and the other thing, like you said, was YouTube Red. Is I heard that if you get approved for a YouTube Red show, you get $400,000 to make a show.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine just $400,000 to make like it's just too much money. I wouldn't know what to do to make a cool video.
Right?
I'd be buying fighter pilots to fly over, and
exactly.
like people on motorcycles. Right? I don't know.
It's just like crazy, just Michael Bay explosions in the background. And everything.
Yeah, exactly. Just because you don't have anything else to put into your video.
Yeah. I mean, the budgets are big. I mean, especially like you take a YouTuber like you and I. I don't know how much. And we're not going to talk numbers here, obviously, but like, we've spent quite a bit on our setups, making our videos like improving the quality of our videos. We spend a decent amount of money on that. And, there's always, newer things to buy. The chair I'm sitting in, I have a Tempur-Pedic pillow on it because it's such a piece of shit chair. I have back problems because it's so bad. Like, this is something that I need to upgrade, right? Like, I need to pay for my chair to be better so I can make videos. But we don't spend $100,000 on improving our studios. We're not musicians with professional equipment. So when you hand a YouTuber $400K and you're like, make some dope ass series, that's awesome. Like, that's a good feeling.
Yeah. The thing with gaming especially is once you get a setup, I mean, a couple monitors, a microphone, a computer, you really don't have that many expenses.
Yeah, you really don't need to keep updating. Like, every once in a while, like, new something comes up, but like, like those foam inserts on your wall, you probably will never change those out for a very long time unless you move.
Yeah, that's basically it. And even if I move, I'll just take them down and put them up.
And put them back up,
Yeah. So, I mean, and even as an expense, it was like $200 or $300, which in the long run for a business is,
nothing,
it's not that much, right? And it's going to
exactly.
last for a while. So there's really not much. So that's the one thing with YouTube is if I have an expense, I mean, it's pretty easily justifiable because there's so little expenses. It's like, if this will make my content better, then absolutely. That being said, still rocking the Yeti mic. So,
are you really? Yo.
Yes.
That's
the classic.
And it sounds just fine. It sounds great.
I mean, it's not the best, but it's enough. And I mean, I travel a lot, so I didn't want to get a boom because just, I mean, it looks way cooler. I will say you look awesome
nice
there with your boom. Yeah, you could move it around. It's so professional.
Yeah, exactly. We're just
see, that would be cool to have a real YouTube, like a podcast studio where you could like, have all those around and one for me.
I never even thought of that. Like a sway in the morning kind of thing,
Yeah.
Like you got like your wow.
H3 just got one and it's amazing.
Well, like an actual studio? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's up with so obviously, watch time being the big thing, and I don't know how much you dove into the whole like YouTube algorithm shit, but like I was religious about what made videos pop. And it was metadata for the longest time. So like basically what you put in your description would dictate how good your video did.
Are you talking long time ago?
This was maybe 9 months ago. Oh,
okay.
When it's changed.
Okay,
so it was
I'm thinking back to 2014 when meta tagging was, or maybe
meta tagging was still in 2016. Okay. They never fixed that ever.
but when they started really hammering people, if you would just go like the same word over and over and just a whole long ass list. Now you got to actually write a sentence.
Yeah, like I write paragraphs in my description.
Yeah,
like all of
I should,
that,
but
it's definitely helpful. But see now it's the meta tagging and the metadata and your tags and your title. Having having Pokemon Go in your title definitely helps. But watch time is the biggest fuel for channels now. It's not only watch time, but it's daily active. So if people come back to your channel day in and day out, your channel is going to do better as a whole. And I've actually tested this out. Not on purpose, and this is the whole algorithm thing. Like I figured out the algorithm on accident, but it's with the watch time being so big, I guess that's why podcasts now on YouTube are humongous. Like even what what we're doing right now with the podcast, like this kind of stuff is huge on YouTube. Not only because people like podcasts, I mean I think Rooster Teeth was one of the bigger gaming podcasts that they've had like this going, that whole thing going for years. It's fun to sit down and listen to people talk, especially people that you watch on YouTube. It's cool hearing their thoughts on things. But now with watch time being the main fuel behind videos, podcast channel's got to be doing great. And that's H3. What did he do before that? I've never been big on H3.
Well, he's just kind of, he does relevant things is how I would say H3. He, like PewDiePie issue, he made a video about that. He'll make funny stuff, but yeah, a lot of it's just kind of talking, and he's just a pretty well thought out guy, and just like going through his content. Is PewDiePie a racist? Interview with Casey Neistat.
Okay.
What did you do
before the podcast?
Well, since he's still uploading, like this is all just normal content from him.
Okay.
Right. So nine videos and then podcast with iDubbbz. And then,
okay.
You know, a couple of videos, H3 podcast. But it's crazy. Like H3 podcast, 2.5 million views.
Oh my god.
Get this, PewDiePie only got 2 million.
Wow. See, now that's insane.
Yeah, it's very weird. But anyways, you know, that kind of stuff. Anyways, I never thought about that, but yeah, I guess like the big one is the Joe Rogan podcast, and you know, he's got like what I was saying. He's got basically, you know, that kind of boom, and he lives in LA or, you know, that area. So and he's got, I think he was saying on iTunes he does 100 million downloads a month, and
what?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I want to see what he's doing on YouTube, because I feel like I've been following his YouTube channel for probably 2 or 3 years, and I when my channel blew up, I passed him in subscribers, and now he's coming up to me again. So yeah, he's 25 million views in the last month on YouTube.
That's shitting on me. That's really good.
Yeah, and 150,000 new subscribers. That's just YouTube.
Wow.
Plus his 100,000 on iTunes. So, you know, I see that and it's like, man, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And my big thing is for the longest time I was uploading my podcast to my main channel, and actually part of our conversation we had about this in London kind of I think we had this conversation. Someone I was talking to were saying
we had a good one in we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and you know, saying that, well, I was uploading different content, and the content that wouldn't do as well would I
told you about all this. Yeah.
So like when someone doesn't click on that video, it makes it less likely for them to pop the next video to pop up in their sub.
Yeah.
They're what to watch or whatever, right?
I'm talking like I haven't said this before. I'm sorry for repeating myself.
Oh no. I mean, it's you know, it's new for everyone else listening, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So anyways, like I'd been uploading the podcast, so you know, I do 100,000 plus views every day of the week, and then the podcast would do half or less, right? So I started, you know, for the longest time I was like, whatever, I don't really care, like, because I was still in school. I didn't put in as much thought into my channel as I did. I just kind of, all right, I'm gonna upload a video today, whatever.
Well, yeah, because you got like life things to do too.
Yeah.
On top.
But we kind of started talking about that, and I mean, for me, I just like, I don't know, I really started taking YouTube seriously probably the last couple months, because now I dropped out of school, and it's your job, like you said, you know, you got more worries and more stress about it. So I just decided, you know, I tried one thing where I would upload a little bit of the podcast up to it and then say, hey guys, go check out the rest of it if you want to listen to it. But that wasn't even doing so well. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna have a separation, right?
Okay.
So I already have a second channel that has like over 100,000 subscribers that I wasn't using. So I started uploading it to there, and I already do it like on iTunes and all that stuff, right? But the YouTube thing, like you were saying, like with the whole like sub box is, if people don't click that video, they might not see the next one, right?
Yeah.
So you really gotta make sure like what you're uploading is something that's worth uploading.
Exactly. Like you can't just throw out something to throw it out there. Like that's what I was doing with Clash videos. I was like, well, people want Clash, so let me make a video real quick and throw it out. Yeah. Not knowing that like I'm screwing myself doing so.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, I went, I don't even know how long it was. I went years not missing a day of uploading on YouTube. Like I was hardcore. Yeah. So I would have a couple videos preloaded that I can upload this whenever. It's not a relevant topic, but it's just something entertainment. That's smart. So, I mean, I seriously, basically, up until the end of the Z House, I missed maybe 3 days of uploading. And even on those days, I'd make a video, say, hey guys, I can't make a video today. So I was
like, you were grinding
hardcore about never missing a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
I've kind of let go of that a little bit, because I realized, well, you know, yesterday I had some stuff to do, so I didn't get a video. And I said, well, I'd rather actually have put a good video out and just take it, you know, not put anything out, rather than put out something that's mediocre.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's kind of what YouTube seems to be all about, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, and that's just a bigger challenge, and I guess that's something that I've even been running into. I was doing that too when like Pokemon Go was like really, really dead, and the views weren't there and the updates weren't there. I was like, I mean, my channel's shit anyway. My stats are just down. There's literally nothing I could have done in that situation to bring my channel stats back up. So I figured like, fuck it, I'm gonna have to sit here and wait for the next update. I might as well take some days off, like enjoy my life a little bit. So I took days off, and I was doing that too. Well, I guess, my motivation to take days off and your motivation were two completely different things. I was kind of just like, I realized that it wasn't a wasted time to upload, but like I could devote time elsewhere.
Yeah.
But now I've definitely been trying to do. I mean, even before Generation 2 came out, I've definitely been trying to maintain those dailies, just because I don't know. I think I really I don't want my channel to die. I'm not sure how you feel about your channel, but I really don't want my channel to die.
Yeah, if I had the choice, I would prefer to keep it alive than let it die.
Yeah, exactly. And with Pokemon Go being so iffy with success, like with zombies, like you're never guaranteed success in any community, and anywhere in life, you're never guaranteed success unless you hit the lotto. You lucky son of a bitch if you hit the lotto. You're but like with zombies, you're definitely guaranteed a much longer future, I guess, than with Pokemon, because zombies, they know that all those companies, they know how to put a mainstream game out. They know how to deal with the YouTube community. Like, they know what they're doing. And then as a YouTuber, you can feed off of that because you'll always have a relevant, real community to upload to for, there's always gonna be updates coming out. You're solid for a while. And then with Pokemon, it's different because like, Pokemon's never had a game like this before where it's, an actual big mainstream game competing with other mobile games, and Niantic's a virgin company when it comes to mainstream games. So it's it was a lot more like I have to I want to upload as much as I can to my channel. I do not want to skip days because I want to try to build my fan base as strong as I can, so that when and if I do have to make the move out of Pokemon Go, I can bring with me as many people as I could. That's why I was doing life vlogs, because I started dabbling back in Clash of Clans, and I was like, damn, dude, this is like, if they don't release Generation 2 in these next couple months, this game is going to die, and I'm going to have to move out, And at this point, I was still getting over 100,000 views a video. I still had a large fan base for Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, or large-ish. So like I wouldn't have been screwed on YouTube, but like it would have been one of those transitional phases where like my views per month would have dropped down to like maybe 2 or 3 million, in there, which, if you think as a normal person listening to this, or as a small YouTuber, 2-3 million views in a month is awesome. But as as a YouTuber, if you're used to getting over 10 million views a month, and you're living off of your YouTube revenue, you've got bills to pay, like getting 2 or 3 million views in a month is a death sentence for some people. You could survive off of it, but it's like it's gonna be
it's not
rough.
A good place you want to be in, right?
No, and mentally, emotionally, it's a kind of a hard hit too.
Yeah, because 2 million views today could be 1 million next month, right? And
exactly.
Then 500,000, and then
Yeah, so you never want to watch your slow demise on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a tricky game, man. YouTube really is a game.
It is.
In some ways.
It's a chess game.
Yeah. I feel like we should probably wrap this up, because I told you it'll only be like an hour and a half.
I'm good to keep talking. But
you're good to keep talking.
I don't want to strain this out for you if you're trying to keep the.
No,
if you have a time limit on these on the podcasts.
No time limit, man. We can make history be the longest podcast ever, maybe. I don't know.
Freaking...
But anyways, all right. Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, I feel like there's some people that are really good at staying relevant, and for the longest time, I think everyone didn't really understand why PewDiePie was the biggest YouTuber.
Yeah.
Because he just made gaming videos and he yelled, and a lot of it was because he was in a less saturated market over in Europe, and longer content. YouTube prioritized watch time. Even back in the day, they did to some extent, and he just kind of was in the right place at the right time. Also, though, being a very good YouTuber, but for being the biggest YouTuber ever, people were like, "Well, I don't really get his content," and now, dude, I almost watch PewDiePie every day.
Right? It's even for me, like, his old content's fun, right? And especially if you're younger, like little kids loved it because like the Happy Wheels, but now he's hilarious, dude.
Yeah. And the thing I think is so great about it is because he's making content for YouTubers and non-YouTubers.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I can watch his video and I feel like I might understand a little bit more. He'll start the video, he's talking to his agent. He's like, yeah, we got to get that ad revenue. We got to get it 10 minutes long. And not everyone realizes that if a video is over 10 minutes long, you can put a second ad into it.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, if you're, hardcore into YouTube, you probably know that. But for, some people, they don't know that. But he's just very relevant to all ages now. And he'll make like commentaries on stuff, this whole new recent thing where he was getting put on blast for being a Nazi and stuff. I feel like he really represented all of YouTube very well.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, PewDiePie's kind of like the king of YouTube, and but for the longest time, I was like, oh, he's just some guy. But now I really look at him with a lot more respect, and I feel glad that he's kind of the biggest representative of all YouTubers.
Yeah, and he definitely knows what he's doing, what he's talking about. Well, and see, even I don't know if you saw the Casey Neistat's video, his response to the whole YouTube thing or a PewDiePie thing, but like that, I think that I haven't checked up on it, but that video definitely got more dislikes than it got likes, and I think it got over like 1 million dislikes on that video.
Wow.
And that kind of just goes to show that, like, you know, even someone as big as Casey Neistat, like, and as respected as he is in the YouTube community, like PewDiePie is the guy for YouTube, and it's just because he's so like outward and truthful with, you know, but he's like he makes it funny though, but like he definitely, like you said, is really good at representing not only representing YouTubers, but like being relevant for us, so, you know, like with the jokes about the 10-minute videos, and like he's just very respected throughout all of YouTube, which is he's the guy basically.
Yeah, PewDiePie is just, he really is. Yeah, it's crazy to think how many subscribers he actually has though.
That is on, what is it, 50 what million now?
50 some million. I gotta look this up.
Dude, 50 million subscribers. What the hell?
Yeah, 54.
54 million. Oh
so
my
yeah,
God.
54 million people, not just watching your video. That's a lot of people. That's a country. But
yeah,
54 people have clicked subscribe.
That is insane, dude. That's bigger than a lot of places.
That's coming up on twice the size of Canada.
Yeah. Oh my
Canada's
God,
like 30 million. Yeah.
Wow. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why so many people are just like, how the hell did he do it? You know, because that's just an unreachable number, and he reached it.
Yeah. He's man. It's
impressive.
What a guy. It's impressive.
It is. It is.
I'm proud to see him as the rightful king of YouTube now. So.
Yeah, exactly. He deserves it.
It's good. Yeah. So yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. So is that it? Have we hit our wall?
I don't know if we've hit our wall, but we have definitely made some damn good points with this entire stream.
Dude,
this
has been a great podcast. Yeah. This has been
stream
awesome.
podcast. My bad. I'm so used to saying stream.
Well, see, I think I got to start live streaming this again because I was live streaming it. But now I have it on my second channel. So,
do you have Twitch? Or you're not?
I do have Twitch. Not really.
I know a lot of guys dual stream.
Yeah, Noah dual streams, and it's funny because, I mean, like, he's not one of the biggest YouTubers out there. I'm sure, you know, he's got 2.5 million subs. He's not small by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm just going to his Twitch right now. 143rd biggest Twitch streamer.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and he's just casual. He's just casual about it. It's just, I have, you know, I'm streaming for YouTube. I guess I'll just do a dual stream, you know, just throw it up there.
Ranks himself at 143.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to be big into Twitch streaming, and the weird thing is I did YouTube's, and I made them really separate. So I said, like, Twitch, I'm not streaming zombies. I'm just gonna do other games that I want to have fun with, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But then live streaming became a thing on YouTube. And I said, well, this is sick. I can do zombies, and it counts as a video when I stream, right? So
yeah, best of both worlds.
So I don't know. The streaming's good. It's too bad you couldn't stream Pokemon Go, man.
I know. I mean, like, I could do live streams, like, you know, I've done this in the past. I actually, when Generation 2 dropped, I was doing an Evolution live stream, an Evolution and Theory live stream. Like, you know, I could do that. I could sit down and have people, you know, watch me evolve things and talk about stuff. But yeah, you can't really go. Well, there's this one of my friends, Pope Dave. He's got this really sick streaming setup, and he does I think full-time live streaming for Twitch for Pokemon Go. And he has like, that's crazy. He's got like a selfie stick almost, and one is it's like this. One, he has the game on that he walks around and like holds, and then the other one is like right here that he can see the chat and it gets his face and everything, so like he can do the live stream, and then it broadcasts to a PC back at his house that goes to Twitch. So like he it's very complicated. I'm not gonna try it, but it's possible. But yeah, like I can't just, you know, I'm gonna casually stream some Pokemon Go right now.
Yeah. So what I'm imagining if I was gonna do this is, I don't know if this is the exact way, but let's say I have a Skype call with myself, right? So I'm out there Skyping video, and then it's popping up on my home computer and just like screen capping it or something along the lines of that.
That's exactly what it is, because I keep because whenever we have to have an off the stream conversation, he always pauses or mutes his Skype. Oh, that's exactly what. Yeah, he literally Skypes himself. You're a genius.
Boom, there you go.
You cracked it right there.
Well, see, this was the thing, as I had this issue of when I was at the Z House, we were gonna do a Nerf gun live stream. Never got around to it.
Okay.
But I said, well, we got to have the whole house. How are we going to do this? So I thought, well, everyone's got a laptop, so why don't we just set laptops up around the house? I'll make a group video call on Skype, and I'll just screen cap every single area.
That's such a sick idea.
And I was thinking, I was even gonna go as far as getting someone to like, skip between videos, so you have multiple videos if we're in the main floor,
like almost like an MLG kind of
aspect. Yeah. Wouldn't that be
so
sick
cool.
for a Nerf fight?
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool. Anyways, Matt took the reins on Nerf videos and got like, I think 2.5 million views. It was insane.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nerf,
and I was watching those videos too. Those were actually really amusing. Like the Z stuff was fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, for me, like, I'm not good at editing videos. I'm way better as a live streamer because I'm good at just being able to talk and for hours on end.
Yeah, which is a skill.
Yeah.
By the way, for everyone listening, like what we're doing seems so casual, but like it's a skill.
Yeah.
Not
absolutely.
everyone can do it.
So for me, I mean, I wasn't into editing, but Matt's done 4 years of film school. Jack's done 1. And you see them when they're recording stuff, and it just looks so much better than what I could do. And he edits, and it's so much better than anything I could do.
Me too. Trust me. I look at his edits, and I'm like, yo, you got to teach me how to do this shit. Like he is great.
I always talk about this on the podcast, but have you seen any of his how he uses Lightroom, which is like an Adobe product?
No.
Kind of like Photoshop.
Okay.
So how I explain the differences is Photoshop is more for manipulating images. Lightroom is specifically for colors. So you know how you
do that.
So there's like a template in Photoshop, and you can saturate and brightness and stuff. This is super specific. So you can raise the levels of reds in the picture. You can raise the levels of greens, blues. Every single color. All this kind of stuff. So Matt, I watched him do this one time. He took a picture that was almost nighttime. You could hardly see the person's face. It was really, really blacked out. Yeah. And he lit it up. You could see all the details in the first person's face. He's crazy, man.
Yeah, have you seen his Instagram? Like his Instagram pictures are better than anything I've ever done in my life. Like
that's all the stuff he's doing, right?
I know.
That's Lightroom stuff.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, editing gets crazy. I was trying to look at color correction and how to make my shots look better, and I was watching this video, and this guy did like a before and after before he explained it, and I was like, this looks awesome. I want to do this. And he's like, yeah, I spent about an hour and a half doing this one shot, and it was a 3-second clip, and I was like, I have to make daily videos. I cannot do this. Like, I wish. Like, if you have a template to show me, thank you, but it's there's a lot more that goes into editing than a lot of people think, and even and with Matt's videos, the transitions that he uses in his vlogs and his highly edited videos, like those things take sometimes hours to make. Like it's just a simple 2-second transition might take you an hour and a half to make. Like it's crazy complicated.
His Nerf gun video, he put like 2 weeks into it. It was stupid.
Yeah.
Because he had like a whole keyframing thing where we're like it was like doing the specs of the gun, and it's like it follows your gun, like there's a little like a light pointer, and it has all our stats, like weaknesses, like daily uploads, and like funny stuff like that. But Matt's got some skills, man. It's cool to see. I feel like Matt's at a weird point now because like I know he wants to go towards like the film and all that kind of stuff. Videography, but he's kind of still tied to YouTube, right? And I think for him, he's kind of going to vlogs now, which is good. Because he can make some really good vlogs, and I think for him it's just a matter of he likes to make really high quality stuff, right? So he'll take a couple days, but like you said, daily content is kind of the way to go with YouTube.
So it's tough.
Yeah,
and I've talked to him about this quite a bit too. But he's kind of at that point where he wants to make the switch from gaming to more life stuff, just because you can. Zombies is fun. Video games are fun. It's fun being able to sit down and play a video game as a living, but like it's, for some people at least, more fun to like go out and experience the world and take dope shots and make cool edits. Like that's, I guess everyone has a different passion, and right now that's where his passion is for sure. And that's where mine is moving as well. So that's why we've kind of been talking about collaborating so much lately. But he's got, I'm really hoping that this works out big for him, because he has the drive for it. He's got the skills for it. He's a very impressive videographer and editor. He's good at what he does.
Yeah, he's very good at what it is. And he's done a rap video, actually.
Really?
I don't know if you saw that.
Wait, like an actual him rapping?
Well, no.
Oh, okay. I was
That
gonna
would
say
be
like,
funny.
yo.
But no, him and his brother, some guy in Miami, up and coming rapper. I forget the song. It was like flexing with no cash, that's suicide. Anyways,
Okay.
if anyone recognizes that song, that Matt made that music video.
Wow, that's actually really
and
cool.
it wasn't like a super big rapper or anything, but
Yeah.
they had some cars and some girls, and they just made like a classic rap video, but it looked really good.
Yeah.
Right. So
And Matt was behind that, which is awesome.
yeah, exactly. So he was saying he was gonna go to some sort of like the Cayman Islands or something to record some stuff. I don't know if that's still going through or what, but yeah,
Dope.
yeah. Yeah, so
he's definitely
anyways,
big into the adventure.
yeah, I was gonna say we've sucked Matt's dick just a little bit.
Yeah.
Here,
So I'm very impressed by him. That's
yeah. No. It is super impressive. See, I want to see him get that milli on MC Sports Talk.
I know.
He's got it. He's so close, and like it was crazy because at the Z House, I think he had 600,000 subscribers maybe at the time, and he was like, man, I'd really like to hit 650 by the time we're out here. Hit it in like 3 weeks. It was so great. Yeah, it was so cool to see. That was the thing with Z House, man. Is like living with YouTubers and working with YouTubers every day. That really like you grow.
Oh no, big time.
Yeah, you grow a lot. It's crazy.
I mean, you grow obviously as if you want to get like cute and cheesy with it, you grow as like a group of YouTubers, a group of friends. Like your the connections with each other strengthens, and it's just like more fun to be around each other. But like the cross promotion, and this is why collaborations are just so big on YouTube. The cross promotion you get from, because even if you guys are the zombies YouTube community, right? Like everyone that watches zombies like generally will know all of you guys, will know who you are. But just because someone knows who you is doesn't mean they technically watch your videos. So like even though you're in the same community, when you collaborate with each other, you're gonna have people who don't watch you come to your channel that are new. So
yeah,
the cross promotion stuff is great. Collaborations are awesome.
Oh, I had people unsubscribe to me when I left the Z House because they're like, oh, I only like you because you're the Z House. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's a little rough.
It is a little bit rough, but I understand. The funniest thing was because Chucky was such a small YouTuber at the time. There was this comment we got. It was like, screw the Z House. The only people we care about is Lex and Pat. Matt's dumb. And that other guy is, I don't even know that other guy. But the thing is, there were two other guys, right?
Yeah.
So we assumed that Jack was the other guy, and then it was like the joke that Chucky is like such an unknown person that the guy didn't even acknowledge him.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he became like just how everyone kind of gets some sort of stereotype around them, some sort of meme. He became like, oh, he's invisible, We'd be like, man, like where's Chucky? And he'd be like right beside us, Yeah.
The inside jokes.
Yeah. Do you have any inside jokes like that with your channel or?
Well, I mean, I guess the biggest one is my name in Clash was always White Lighting HWD, and that was because for Call of Duty, my gamer tag was I had to think of a gamer tag, and I was a big AC/DC fan, and there was a lyric White Lightning HWD, or there was not that there was it was like White Lightning. Tequila White Lightning. That was the quote, and I was like, dude, that's dope. Mind you, I was like maybe 11, 12, 13 years old, so I was like a kid, and tequila, anything alcohol when you're a kid is like, yo, that shit's cool, right? So I was like, that's a cool thing. So I wanted White Lightning as my gamer tag, and then I had my uncle help me, and he put HWD at the end because White Lightning was taken, and HWD stands for Hayward, which is my hometown where I grew up, and my uncle was kind of a savage. He did tagging when he was a kid, so HWD was like their sign, bunch of crap. So I never said what HWD meant, like what it stood for, until I hit 1 million subscribers. So that was years. That was years of keeping that a secret. So you can only imagine the speculation that went behind that from my fans. So huge white dick, huge whiskey dick, any combination of HWD that was perverted you could think of has been said. So that was probably, and still is probably, the biggest inside joke I think I'll ever have in my life. Just the whole HWD fiasco. But other than that, I mean, Team Mystic, my channel is named Mystic7, and I had no clue that there was going to be a Team Mystic in Pokemon Go, so kind of a running inside joke that I'm the leader of Team Mystic.
Whoa.
That's one of them.
Yeah, that's right? Convenient.
I know, extremely. You have no idea. When the game came out, I was like, bro, I know exactly what team I'm picking. Like,
nice.
This is easy.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's one, but I guess I don't really have a lot of big inside jokes. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you got rocking?
Well, before I go into that, I was gonna say everyone calls you White. I remember.
Yeah. Okay, so or White Power. Team Epiphany calls me White Power and hails at me all the time. Um, yeah, so I guess I'm the Nazi, not PewDiePie. So that's just because White Lightning was like my name for the longest time. It wasn't ever my YouTube name, but it was like my gamer tag and what I went by a lot. And a lot of people just called me White for short. And it wasn't White the caller. It was WITE, which isn't really a word, but my uncle or I spelled it. You know when like you tweak the spelling because you're trying to get a gamer tag. That's what I tried. So I kind of got stuck with that. I didn't know my YouTube channel would blow up and I'd be known as the guy who had 3 names that were all spelled wrong. Mystic7, by the way, is spelled with an L, not an I, because the real Mystic7 was taken by some weird band in Amsterdam or some shit like that. Yeah, so it's I guess the misspelling's an inside joke. But yeah, White, just because that was like the easier way to call me instead of White Lighting HWD. Right. And then that turned into me being, you know, a Nazi. So White Power, I get saluted at by Team Epiphany. Yeah.
Man, he's such an interesting guy.
Jake?
Yeah, he's just got such a like his personality.
Yeah,
is just...
awesome personality.
Oh my god.
I like Jake and Logan are they're 2 of my, I guess, closest friends on YouTube, just because you know, Brian Dodge, I've known him since we've known each other since before we were like bigger and I guess more successful, if you want to say.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, Team Epiphany, Jake is Brian's super close with those guys, and I'm super close with Brian. So like that we formed a friendship pretty quickly. And then I mean we see each other at every single event. So there's some cool guys, definitely some cool guys.
Yeah. See, it was weird in London because like I pulled up to the hotel. And I just heard you guys, you're all eating breakfast. There's like 10 of you. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm like YouTubers. You get spotted from a mile away because you guys are just so loud and you sounded like YouTubers just like give off a very confident vibe because you just got to be right in front of the camera and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just kind of walked in and like, I looked and I'm like, I just asked the close guy, I'm like, Brian? I'm looking for Brian. It's like, oh yeah, he's over there. And anyways, then I look at the next guy. It was Jake, who I'd met once before at some like event in Toronto. And,
okay. Oh, you guys.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what's up, man? Like, I think I met you a while ago. And he's like, and I took my glasses. I was like taking my glasses. I was like, oh yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. That was interesting, but
yeah.
Dude, that
London meeting people like that.
Yeah, that London trip was kind of cool because I haven't really been to something like that where you're around a bunch of YouTubers, but you know, some pretty big names there like Kwebbelkop and
Jelly. Yeah,
Wolf.
It was weird. It was like some of the biggest people from every community. I mean, like we had representatives from Zombies, from Pokemon, from GTA, from Call of Duty. It was like a big mix of a lot of like And I don't know if you saw who were at the YouTube, like the London headquarters. There were some really big YouTubers there, like amongst us that weren't even a part of our group.
Yeah, it wasn't. You said I remember. I think it was you. Yeah, the like Dubai guy or
billionaire. Yeah, he was there. I see now. I no one. I don't think anyone there really like. I don't want to say they didn't care about him, but like they weren't like fanboying over him. But like I low key fanboyed just because like I watch him. I don't watch him a lot, but like I'm a big fan of expensive, nice things and fast cars. So like his vlogs very interest me a lot. Like seeing him casually go buy a Lambo with cash is kind of a cool video in my opinion. So like seeing him in person, I was like, oh my god, that's Mo Vlogs. Like this guy's a billionaire, yo. Like let me go shake this dude's hand. But yeah, it was overall it was a super quick trip. Not a lot of sleep involved. I mean, and then for you, it's I guess sucked extra, man. I'm so sorry you heard you got sick so bad after that.
Oh, it's bad. It was really bad.
Yeah. But for me at least, it was a very positive experience. A lot of connections. We had no clue who each other were before.
Yeah. We met there. We were just talking at that ping pong event, and we were talking about what we do, and you were like, oh yeah, like Zombies, you're like, yo, you must know MC Sports Talk. I was like, yeah, I lived with the guy for 2 months this summer. Like... You're like, wait, Z House? And I was like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, that was like the weirdest thing. I was like, oh my god, like I think I know who you are. Like I've seen you in videos before.
Well, it was weird because Matt was telling me about the few people because I remember back. Okay. I think he's met a lot of people now, but when he first moved to LA, he was like, man, I really don't know many people. He mentioned a few people, and I do remember him saying Mystic7.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I was so like I didn't remember that, but I was like, oh, okay, that was one of the guys Matt was talking about. So,
yeah, because like and then like we said earlier, like you didn't attend COD XP, and I was hanging out with the whole zombie crew for a little bit there, so that's why like I didn't know you on the jump. I was like, Well, that's why when you said, when we got into the whole zombies thing and we were at Z House, I was really confused. I was like, wait, Z House? I didn't see you at XP. Like, I thought the whole squad was there.
I was the one that didn't make it. But, like, other than that, I knew Brian from calls. I knew Jake. And I think that was it. And Sniper Wolf. Wow. I've met her once before at another event. That was it. Those are the only people I actually knew at that event. So everyone else, I was like, and Garrett, Jobless Garrett. I knew him.
Okay,
yeah. I've met him a few. I swear, man, Garrett is at like everything.
I was about to say, Garrett knows everybody.
Yeah, right?
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah, like you'll just, I don't know. I actually,
so weird.
I was coming out of my hotel room and him and Quebblecop were walking down. And I was like, hey, man. I was like, what's up? I was like, I think I know you. And then I was like, yeah, like we've definitely met at like PAX or something before. Because I feel like he's just the guy, like he goes to like all those like VidCon and PAX. And everything.
Well, and even when I go to the events and I go to like, the YouTube gaming after party, whatever, like he'll walk in and walk up to like the humongous group of like big Minecrafters and be like, hey, and they're like, hey, like they're like, cool. I'm like, how do you know these guys so well?
Yeah.
Like, it's like he's got the connections. Yeah, Garrett, yeah, that's somebody that I think everyone really knows when walking in a room. But yeah, even when I went to the whole London event, like I definitely knew a lot of people going there just because a lot of people from the Clash community were brought. Like Cam and his brothers. I mean, I've been YouTubing with those guys in Galadon for like 4 years now. So like I've known those guys. I've been pretty tight with those guys. But it was definitely cool meeting like the whole GTA side of things, like yourself, like the whole zombie side. It was cool. I've never, other than going to events, and I've obviously met people at events, but it was cool like being able to not only meet people from different communities, but like interact and hang out with and talk with, actually be with people from different communities.
Yeah,
it's a cool experience as a YouTuber and as anyone in the entertainment industry. When you're meeting up with people from other places, it's always kind of a cool time.
Yeah, and I think it's good to surround yourself with other YouTubers because where I live, there's no other YouTubers. It's pretty dead, right? So you like even just the conversations we had, just bouncing stuff back and forth, and you pick little things up and think, oh yeah, that makes sense, and this makes sense, and I should do this, not that, and all that kind of stuff is really good. I like to kind of have a balance and not be like all YouTube, but sometimes I go all like. I'm just like here by myself, and it's good to just talk to some YouTubers and just kind of talk with people that are on kind of the same page because not the thing is not everyone really understands YouTube all that well and what you do, right? So it's good to just kind of get that conversation in,
Yeah. God, do you Uber a lot by you, or do you Uber when you were out in London or whatever?
Well, we don't even have Uber here, but
okay.
Yeah, well, Uber. I'm out there, but Uber.
Uber is, if you want to talking about what you do for a living because people are confused. Uber is I can't tell you how many tweets from other YouTubers I've seen that are like, next time I get an Uber, I'm telling them I'm a veterinarian or something like that because like almost every Uber I've got into, because what are you going to talk about with someone who you meet, like what you do, right?
Yeah.
Every YouTuber I've gotten into, or every Uber I've gotten into, like YouTube has been the sole focus of that conversation. So much so that I've been purposely trying to not bring up YouTube in an Uber because it's like, I want to go from one place to the other. It's like having to tell, because I'm sure you can attest to this, with meeting fans or talking with fans or answering Q&As, you get asked the same question a lot when it comes to YouTube. So like it's like meeting an interviewer whenever you step inside an Uber. So it's being able to talk to someone who understands what you do and like, the ups and downs you go through and just like the whole dynamics of your business. It's definitely it's cool. It's nice. And which is why, like what you said, surrounding yourself with other YouTubers is definitely a comfortable group to have with you for sure.
It's so funny how you say that. Just the whole like Uber thing, because I don't have Uber here, but I've been around and obviously you get Uber, and I'm at the point where sometimes I'll just lie and just say I'm here just visiting friends. I'm just on vacation. But sometimes it'll slip or something will come out, and you're just giving them as little as possible. It's like, oh, so what do you do? Oh, I work online. Oh, so like, what do you do online? Oh, well, like I'm an editor. That's what I say. I edit videos.
Okay,
I edit videos, right? And they say, oh, like what for? And I'm like, oh, YouTube. Oh, so you're a YouTuber? Oh, yeah. And you know what I mean? It just goes on and on, and you're trying to give them as little as little knowledge so that they can't ask another question relating to like what you've given them. You know, you just say like yes and no. Because man, I feel you. It's just like you don't want to have to explain it sometimes.
Exactly. Like, you know, if a fan asks, that's one thing, but like if like a random person,
they
like
get
you gotta
it,
tell your life story. Yeah. Well, if you're talking to a viewer, you know, like they know you, right? They know what they've seen your channel before. But like when you're talking to a complete stranger who typically doesn't understand YouTube. Hey, honestly, plus side of this though, I've gotten out of I think I've gotten out of I think 2 or 3 speeding tickets with YouTube as the conversation, and I've gotten out of I think 5 police engagements, like, you know, being rolled up on by a cop and having to talk with them, and you know they take my ID and shit, and then they let me go because a lot of the time, so my license plate, because when I was a high schooler, when you're a kid and you come across some level of I guess, you know, fame and fortune, your ego gets boosted up a little bit. At least mine did. So that's why, you know, I went out and I bought a Mustang GT, bright blue, flashy freaking car. I got Mystic7 as my license plate because I thought I was a cool guy. So I got pulled over a lot for that. But the Mystic7 plates, though, twice actually, a cop, after pulling me over for speeding because I'm an asshole, asked me about the plates. They're like, or the car, you know. Oh, this is a nice car. You know, I was like, oh, thank you. It's my first car I've ever bought for myself. And they're like, oh, how'd you do that? YouTube. Bam, conversation starter. You have a nice day, sir. You know, don't worry about the ticket. I'm like, thank you.
That's awesome.
Like, Mystic7 on the plate's like, oh, what is that? I had a cop who played Clash of Clans, pulled me over. Okay, I let my buddy drive my car. He was speeding through a neighborhood. He got called in, and then the cop came out. I gunned a yellow light, and he pulled me over. And then we were talking, and he was like, oh, you know, Mystic7, you know, what do the plates mean? I was like, oh, that's my YouTube channel. He's like, oh, you do YouTube? I'm like, yeah. So we started talking about that. He's like, what do you do? I do Clash of Clans. And he's like, no way, I play Clash of Clans all the time. I'm like, no shit, let's talk about Clash of Clans and not be me getting pulled over, you know? So then that turned into the, you know, him just totally being a cool guy. He was like, yeah, you know, when I'm not, you know, out here doing police work or with my family, I'm probably like drunk in some bar at 3 a.m. playing Clash of Clans. I'm like, you're a cop, you should be telling me that, but that is fucking awesome. I'm like, thank you very much. So it's just stuff like that, you know, that YouTube definitely, the conversation, it's annoying to have sometimes, but like when you need it, it definitely works. It's definitely a helpful topic to bring up.
That is awesome. I've never used YouTube in that way, but that is smart.
It works because, dude, people are so, I mean, you know, and this is exactly why we avoid conversation in Ubers. People are so curious about YouTube because even now it's such a growing industry, and like nobody gets it because it's like you got to be in it to know it. So the curiosity around YouTube is just insane. So yeah, police officers, they love it.
That's
they
awesome.
eat that up.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, this has been awesome. This is the officially longest episode I've ever done, which is a good sign because that means we've been able to talk this long through. Yeah, normally max we do is like an hour and a half, maybe 2 pushing it. So this has been good, dude. This has been good.
Yeah. I'm thank you very much for inviting me on this.
Dude, it's been a good time. I'll have to have you back at some point.
Absolutely. And then if and when I start doing podcasts, you'll be my first guest. So.
All right. Yeah, branching out to that podcast industry, man.
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone wants to talk. Oh,
exactly.
I know what's up. I need to talk about, you know, right? So yeah, that's 100%. What it is. People can find you at Mystic7, right?
Yes.
Mystic7 is the YouTube channel. That will be linked down in the description, of course, everybody. So you can go subscribe to Brandon. And that's it. I think we're going to have Mr. T-Lexify on next week. I've been saying that the last 3 weeks. But Lex is really hard to get in contact with.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Why am I blocked on Twitter?
Lex blocked you?
Yeah. I met him once at COD XP. I think I like used a clip of him in like his neck brace, like, or not neck brace, like, you know, like the airport thing is like dancing around, like a Snapchat I took. I think I used in a video for like 2 seconds because it was fucking hilarious. Like, he's a funny guy. And then I checked Twitter like 2 weeks ago when I was blocked. I was like, all right, I don't know what I did to do that, but okay. But yeah, Lex, if Lex ever sees this, I'm sorry for whatever I did.
I'll have to mention that to him. I don't know, man. Lex is just Lex, and
yeah, and that's well, he seems like a funny cool guy. So it just you know, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I just thought that was hella funny. I was like, okay, all right, someone is like Pokemon Go.
Yeah, word. All right.
No, but yeah, that was. Thank you again for having me on the podcast,
dude. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for coming on. You've been a great guest. All right. Cheers, everybody. Have a great weekend. This will probably be up Friday. So take care, and hopefully we'll be back with Lex next week. But, like, don't expect anything. That's all I'm going to say. So, bye, everybody.
Deuces.